Hello guys, we're back for episode 7 of the Infra-Red podcast. Tonight we've got Tarfity and we've got Kieran joining us.
Yo.
We've got my co-host Damo, of course.
It's a pleasure.
And we've got Mitch, our Jamie for the night. So, tonight we will be talking about Lab 6. We'll be talking about the hip-hop industry and the state that it's in, what's happening with the Perth hip-hop scene, and just roll off into a conversation about anything to do with that.
Anything goes.
Anything
Saunas.
goes, yeah.
Like in the sauna. Anything goes in the sauna as
Yeah,
well.
anything goes in the saunas. So,
yeah.
let's start it off. So, what got you guys into Lab 6? Like, how did you find out about it? Was it advertisements?
I just came across Lab 6 from like word of mouth. I think.
Pull the mic closer.
I just heard of it from like one of my friends or whatever.
Like this.
Okay, so I have to like eat the mic right
Basically,
here.
yeah.
Is this
yeah,
good?
like that. Yeah.
Looking good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just heard about it from word of mouth from a friend one day, and then I was like, I want to get into Ableton, so tried it out. And they do like a beginner Ableton course for like $800, and you go for like 10 weeks or something like that. And then yeah.
Is it well worth it?
I think yeah, it is, because you get like the full. They touch on like everything, and you get like a beginner's knowledge. You should by the end of it theoretically be able to make a song.
And so, Kieran, did you do the same course?
Yeah, so I did the same course, I think probably like a year or two later than he did.
Oh, okay. So you guys weren't in the same class then? It's just
I was done in like 2016, I'm pretty sure.
no shit.
But yeah, overall the course is pretty good. You kind of forget that you spent that much money afterwards. Like a year or two down the line, you kind of forget that you spent that much money. But like overall, compared to like I've seen other people who've just gone into Ableton and whatnot, and they just kind of don't have a lot of that missing, like just the general know-how stuff that Lab 6 teaches you within Ableton.
Yeah.
And do they burn out quickly when they don't have that level of knowledge?
Yeah, I think the whole being a producer or being a beat maker kind of requires a lot of dedication that day in, day out, or at least on the constant grind and routine to learn something.
Yeah. And when you don't have the concept of the actual mechanics of it working, you sort of, it kind of throws you off. It just saps you with motivation, because you go, I just want to make beats. Why do I have to learn how the synchronization works, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get that feeling then?
EQs, yeah.
The theory side of music production can be pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's so many different things to specialize in. Like sound design on its own is a whole
field.
It's a whole beast. You know, and then there's like mixing and mastering, making sure everything sounds clean and crisp, close to the mic.
Yeah, we're gonna make it sound clean and crisp, like our voice in these microphones.
That's it. So it went for 10 weeks each, like, so your course went for,
you go in for like 2 hours each week. Was it
Yeah, it was 2 hours each week, and it's kind of, it runs through, you do it, and you kind of do it privately or in like a small group, or generally it's running these like about 8 people per class every 1 day per week, like you said. Yeah. And you run it in like sequentially. Like 1 week you'll learn just about the arrangement view, for instance, and audio clips and how those work, and then the next week you learned about MIDI, and then the next week you learned about audio effects and all that. So it kind of ran you through very sequentially into the process that Ableton kind of presents you with.
No way, true.
And the whole course is documented as well. Like they give you like a little folder that has all the material in it,
like samples and stuff.
You just
and
got
everything.
PowerPoint.
Oh no, like an actual physical folder with paper in it that you can read through all the steps that they're teaching you about. Yeah.
Do they offer things where it's like, so if you sign up, day one you get all the material, or is it like week by week?
Week by week. But
they give it to you week by week.
They give you a lot of love.
So it's not too much, basically. So you're not just getting slammed.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming or anything kind of thing.
No, it's not like one of those uni assignments where they just slam all the material on you and you have to just hand it in.
Yeah.
No, you physically go in and you sit around a table like similar size to this one actually.
Sick.
And just one of the teachers will be sat up the front with his computer, and he'll be like, has a projector on the wall, and he's showing everybody sort of how to do whatever. He's explaining stuff.
Speaking on that though, is the way that they teach you is kind of, they don't present you with like homework, but they'll give you an activity that you should practice to learn the thing through.
They're like, take this home,
but
work on it.
All you gotta really do is show up to make sure you get the knowledge, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The rest is up to you. It's still, they'll teach you what you need to know. but
So
they won't pressure you to make it.
So it's one of those things where it's like they don't really care how much you apply yourself, like as long as you show up.
well,
kind
because
of thing,
you're there learning for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah.
They don't have like some test that that they have to like pass students on, and they have to meet some quota or something.
Yeah,
It's not-
exactly,
it's not
yeah.
like that. It's
There's no
just-
certificate.
It's just the people who are going have shown an interest in this thing, and they want to learn about it themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Which
like,
is good though.
if you don't apply yourself, then you're just wasting your own money.
Yeah.
Well, exactly, yeah. But that's the way it should be though, because it's
Yeah.
kind of like, if you're interested and you want to learn,
Why don't
you
you-
want to
yeah.
learn.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you take the activities home and work?
And
on
that's
them?
what I found was
Exactly.
I did learn so much at Lab 6 just because I was genuinely interested in the material
Yeah.
they were teaching.
Yeah.
And you get access to the whole community. They
Yeah.
have like a Facebook
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of
Everyone's all
networking
in
there.
it.
No matter how long you go there for, they'll add you to a Facebook group which has all of their current and past students.
Wow.
And so everybody, it's just like this crazy network. You can just like make a post in there and ask for feedback, like, "Hey guys, I made this track," and usually 1 or 2 people get back. It's
That's
sick,
pretty
yeah.
cool, yeah.
That's sick.
So then, yeah, it's community kind of thing as
Mm.
well on top.
Yeah,
that's
very
actually how I
community
know
driven. They got.
Kieran.
Oh, really? So you guys met through that then?
Yeah, I
Well, actually, I met you through Jack, but I met
Yeah.
Jack through the community.
but I met
Yeah.
Jack through McKenna, who I met through the Lab 6 Facebook group.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I
so
met.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
It's
then
just
they
all one
they
big
do this
circle.
alumni thing now. So they occasionally, like every once in a while, they have like 10 people show up, present some of this stuff, and it's like this big viewing, listening party to get feedback and
That's
just
sick.
show
Yeah.
off what you've done.
I haven't been to any yet, but I'm going. I'm hopefully going to
100%.
next
I
one.
haven't been either. I'm like waiting
I
to
put my
go.
hand
So
up
it's
for
like
it,
an
but-
actual network.
Yeah, like
Nice.
they're really trying to be very like into it to be there for the producers and
Mm,
That's
whatnot.
sick. They're actually creating a community in Perth based entirely on
But
the love of producing.
yeah,
But
one
see, that-
thing.
well,
Oh,
you
sorry.
go. No, you go.
One thing I was gonna say is that it's kind of like very daunting to learn a door.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it can,
right.
that's
Yeah.
where the difficulty comes in for a lot of people. And when they go to a course like this, is that the door itself is difficult. And while it is being broken down for you, like intaking it all in just 10 weeks and applying it all after that takes more time afterwards.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's like an instrument, like
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can go and learn how to play guitar, but you're not going to learn how to be Jimi Hendrix from learning from someone else. Like
Yeah.
you've got to learn by
gotta
yourself, spend
practice,
your own time and
practice,
practice and
Yeah,
perfect your
exactly.
craft, basically.
Yeah, 100%, man.
And that, well, what were you going to say?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Ah.
No.
But that's what I was going to say is like that's why it's like when people actually go and produce, they kind of have to make their own style and their own unique thing, and you can't just throw something together and be like, yeah, that's deep house. It's
Yeah.
like because
No.
you really have to try and be different from the crowd, but then fit into the similar genre kind of thing,
Yeah, exactly.
and make it work.
There's a lot of paths you have to take, and number one, you have to learn how to create your own style, but then also on top of that, learn a door. That's pretty convoluted. That's why I was talking about before. You're talking about how it's so
Daunting.
yeah, it's so daunting to learn a door thing.
Yeah.
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
I'm sorry, man.
Can we say what a DAW is? Just so
Yeah,
anyone
yeah.
who
Digital-
doesn't know.
digital audio
workstation. Yeah.
Half.
Went too far.
So-
You made it work.
How did you guys find just like picking up Ableton and just starting to get into it? Did you when you opened up the program for the first time? and
Dude, when
stuff,
I actually, to be honest, I couldn't figure out how to. I couldn't lay
same.
down a basic melody or even put in a sample. I didn't know how to do anything, man. Until I actually, I think I watched like a couple of YouTube tutorials on my own and just started learning how to use the instruments basically. But yeah, it wasn't until I actually went to Lab 6 that was when I fully got some knowledge of Ableton and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to learn without anyone to sort of help you through it.
Yeah.
But you can learn well on your own with tutorials. There's
Yeah,
so much.
100%.
There's more than enough material.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, I basically taught myself how to use FL Studio, and that's
Oh,
just for
man.
9 months.
Yeah,
Every night
yeah,
I was
yeah.
watching a tutorial before bed, and I'd fall asleep to a 2-hour tutorial on how to
Bro.
make house or
That's my
how to make
life.
dubstep. and stuff.
Yeah,
But
man.
it works. Like if you're, it's like what we were saying is if you're into it and you show
This
dedication,
man lives and breathes tutorials.
real.
Nice. Sick.
Have you watched Busy Works Beats and
Oh,
stuff?
man, Busy
yeah, he's
Works
so good,
Beats.
right?
Your
He's such a
production
good
sucks.
dude.
Your
Oh,
production
really
sucks.
good.
Reed
Yeah,
Stefan.
Yeah, he
this
just
is
put me
guy
on to Reed
Siri.
Stefan. Reed Stefan. Do you know him?
I think so.
Realist
he's the
puppet in
puppet.
the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's the guy with the puppet?
Yeah, realist puppet in the
Yeah.
game.
Pull that up. I don't
Shout
think
out
I've
to
ever-
Reed
I
Stefan.
don't think
Yeah,
I've ever
that's
heard of
sick.
it.
One of the best Ableton resources
He
out
puts
there,
out
I'd
some
amazing,
say.
mad
So.
tips, bro.
Phenomenal.
And
Like,
so-
he's so smart, man. He's got the business end of it down too. 'Cause
Reed Stefan?
Yeah, REID, and then Stefan is how you think you sell Stefan.
Oh, it's I think it's an F.
Yeah.
It's all good. You got it.
Got it.
But like
yeah,
what
the
he
top
does,
one.
he puts out all of this content, and it's just
Yeah,
so
top
much
one.
just like juicy, just like here are some sick tips, and you instantly get better. As
Oh,
Oh,
a
I
man.
have seen this guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
He's so good, man. He's
and
phenomenal.
then halfway through all of his videos, he has just like a short ad.
Yeah.
and it's
It's
his
wholeloops.com.
online sample pack shop.
Yeah.
He sells wholeloops.com. He sells all these samples and all this sort of stuff.
He just knows what to do, man. He's got
he's
it
got
down.
the business end of it. Just
Well, you
down
can make a lot of
packed,
money
man.
by doing that kind of thing. And look at
100%.
all these views. It's like 234,000, 150,000.
For Ableton, man,
136.
a lot of it's crazy. He makes a lot of money selling like presets as well, just
And-
making
yeah,
templates with
yeah.
stock Ableton plugins.
Really?
Yeah, so he's got this. I actually bought it. It's a lead vocal source, and it's like the main thing I record through, so that it sounds processed before I really start mixing stuff.
Nice.
And it's insane. Like we're talking, like he's got EQ. He's put like saturation, standard reverb, delay, and all that in this one like long like effects chain.
Really?
Then if you go inside like the reverb and all that, he hasn't just got the regular reverb. He's got all these effects onto the reverb. He's got a long reverb, a short reverb. It's like crazy.
Really?
Yeah, like it's insane.
Yeah.
I've got a few weeks of many late nights watching Next to Find coming up, I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm in this mode right now where I'm just like trying to improve as rapidly and as much as I possibly can as a producer.
Well, that's the biggest thing about producing as well. It's like, if you make a really good song and you make a really good track and you upload it and it gets really good reviews, if you don't have something to back that up in like a month or something like that, you start fading away and you start dropping down the ladder. And that's the problem where it's like so many people,
have to constantly fight to get it.
you have to, exactly. You have to
They
fight for the
It's a
top.
weird
Fighting
fight
to-
too.
Yeah.
It's a weird fight of business that you don't realize is going
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
And
like a
what-
whole back end that you don't even know is in action when you
Yeah.
release a song.
And that's exactly it. It's because it's all about networking and socializing, getting your name out there, and just pushing your material. Because overpopulation, it's a real thing. Like,
Oversaturation industry.
that's exactly it. Everyone wants to do it.
Yeah.
It's the
That's
same
why-
with DJing.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
think
loop
it's a big
kits are a
thing
thing.
as well. Like at the moment, for some reason, everybody's just suddenly realized, like, yo, music production, I could get into that. It's going to be easy, kind of thing. So there's a lot of people who are going to be trying it out right now. But I reckon what's going to happen is like, there's just going to be like a period where it just drops off because
Yeah.
everybody suddenly realize how
How
much more
tricky it
work.
actually is.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well, sound engineering is engineering.
Yeah, no one realized that.
Like that's what it is.
Well,
Like making music, it's like it's a form of
It's
engineering.
It is.
kind of
It
thing.
really is. And in sound production, a lot of the guys who entered my course, half of them dropped out because they didn't realize it wasn't the beat making side of things. They didn't realize it's
That-
actually the audio
yeah.
mixing, the audio engineering side of things.
Oh man.
So
That'd be the biggest letdown.
It was a big letdown. You could tell who was leaving immediately.
What did you study, Damo? It was a diploma,
It
wasn't
was a
it?
diploma and an advanced diploma.
Yeah.
I'm finishing that up this year
In mixing.
in audio production.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Audio
So-
production, yeah.
So yeah, audio engineering, a lot of mixing, running
Damn.
your own live audio visual events as well. Where it's a team event where we create environment. We create a show where we record. We have the film crew from the Northbridge TAFE come in to record these acts playing, and we run the sound for that. And it's a 3-hour production, and then we take it home, mix it, and then they take the visuals home and edit it, and then we paste the final product together and upload it on YouTube. And that teaches us, number one, how to work as a team, and not just the audio side of things, but also work in the visual side of things, creating constant communication and just a really phenomenal audio visual exercise, I think.
Yeah.
And if you go into that course to learn how to make beats, and you enter in the advanced diploma not knowing what's gonna happen, and then you get thrown right into the deep end of that really high end audio visual scenario, you really are sinking or swimming. So I can see how a lot of people, when they enter audio engineering and stuff like that, they immediately drop off
Yeah.
because it is such a big thing, you know?
right,
Yeah.
that sounds intense, man.
It is, man. It's a 3-hour, man. And the worst thing is, if you don't get it done, man, you're there till 8 p.m. and no one wants to be there until 8 p.m.
Well, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Like you got to get your work done.
Well,
So
yeah.
when you were doing Lab 6 and stuff like that, did you ever feel like there was pressure? Like you had to keep up with the rest of the group kind of thing?
No,
Because you
man,
guys-
like most people are at different levels as
Yeah.
well in their journeys. You know, at Lab 6, there are some people who've been in production for a while already and who sort of know their way around.
Yeah.
And we're just going for like a refresher or something like that, or just jumping to a new door. But nah, it was because again, it's like you're only going, for your own sort of expansion of knowledge and to grow yourself as an artist. So it's like there's no sort of grading system. It's kind of just like, I guess they check in with you if you're to make sure that you're able to grasp everything that they're covering, and then they sort of try to make sure everybody's moving along as a group.
But how does it work? So it's like you go to like a classroom and there's like computers, it's like a computer
So
room.
imagine
bring your
a
own,
desk room like this,
And
and
everybody
you
brings
just
their
bring
own
your
laptops.
laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I actually thought it'd be like a school computer room.
Oh,
They have
no.
a whole bunch
That's
of
like
desks
SAE.
set up.
With the
That's
plastic
like
chairs.
SAE.
Yeah,
It's a bit
exactly,
like
yeah.
that, but you bring your own computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
True. So they don't provide iMacs or anything like
No,
that.
you
No.
provide the Ableton and the computer for yourself. But
Oh,
then-
really? As
Yeah.
well? So they don't even give you a trial run?
Well, they
of
just
Oh no!
use
You
it. Use
actually,
it.
to preface that, I went to the course with a trial version of Ableton the whole time.
No
So
shit.
everything I
enough.
learned was through the trial version, and then seeing them use like drum bus on the
stuff
on
that
the
you can't
screen. I
access.
couldn't use it yet, and then I bought it afterwards. But like I could still utilize that knowledge
No
afterwards.
way.
That's sick.
See, I always thought what would happen is like do they give you a discount code for Ableton or?
Well, I
Or
don't think
maybe
they
in the
have
future,
access
but
to
I don't
that.
think right
I don't
now.
think they
Yeah.
have that kind of like a partnership with Ableton.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Like that. It's-
Yeah, because that's when I had Josh on Sub Filler, and we were talking about how what was it, Mitch? It was like, in order to become a certified Ableton instructor,
you have to go to their conferences and complete these set of challenges
Yeah.
and quizzes, and only then will they give you an actual certificate.
and
certification.
then that's when you're a certified Ableton teacher.
And there's only 2 of them in Perth, I believe. There's only
Damn.
2 certified Ableton guys.
Yeah,
Well,
because apparently they have like their
apparently.
conferences in like Sweden and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
no,
right?
And
that
like
would make
5,
sense.
or
That
even
would make
5
sense.
people. It's insanely
Mm.
niche.
That is
basically.
very niche.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
That's
But I can understand it. Though. I can understand it because it's like they'll be like, if they want it to be like the official Ableton
Yeah, exactly.
certified thing.
Yeah.
But like, I think a school that teaches Ableton can pop up
You don't
on
need
its
a
own
license,
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Exactly,
They don't
yeah.
need the
Yeah.
license per se.
Yeah. Jay doesn't have the license, but he still gives you primo knowledge. Shout out to Jay, giving you primo knowledge without any certification.
Oh, but what's it called? Comparatively though to other universities like SAE and say Murdoch, they're running the other sound course right now. They won't give you the thing either, the door
Yeah.
itself either. You just
No.
go in to use their
Oh.
computers.
But you can get a discount.
I think you can get a
that's
discount.
what I was
Discount.
thinking, because obviously if you're a uni student, then you can get discount. Like,
Oh yeah, you get the
student discounts.
educational discount.
It's pretty
Yeah,
sick. It's half off.
Do you still get that through Lab 6 because technically you're a student, or
I think because it's a short course, no, you have to be
Yeah.
a tertiary student or
So that
like
kinda sucks
involved
in a way, though.
Yeah, I don't think.
long-term
I'm
thing.
not sure if Lab 6 is officially recognized by the government as
yeah?
a education institution. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea how that.
Because then
stuff
I
works,
kind
to
of
be
thought
honest
that
with
would just go hand in hand. It's like, you go sign up, you pay for the course, and you get the discount on the actual on Ableton, so then you can get it kind of
you.
thing.
Yeah. Such a shame.
The educational discount is good,
It's
but it's
yeah.
not huge. It's not
Oh,
a
it's
huge
still like
discount
half off,
either. It's
man.
real
yeah, isn't
good.
it like $300-$400 off or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're
Ooh.
when you're an up and coming DJ, up and coming producer,
Yeah.
you just torrent that shit, you know.
I had FL Studio
Pirate Bay.
before, and that was off the internet.
Yeah, man, Pirate Bay. What did we get? We got
Yo, what's it called? A few years ago, so much easier. to get
Yeah, it
all
was
this
so much
shit.
easier.
A few years ago,
so much easier, man.
You could get in
It was
there.
so
There'd
good.
be some
Talking about
guy,
piracy.
some hacker guy. He's created this whole PDF for you.
Yeah, it was
teaching
so
you how to
good.
do it.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What was it like Sibelius? I've torrented Sibelius for my boys, and I also
Oh man,
can we even say that? Can we even say that we torrented that shit?
No, I don't know if you should.
I don't know if we should either.
I think that's self-incriminating.
just go like-
Yeah,
I
no
don't
one's
think
ever. No one torrents.
What's
Get
a
that blood
torrent?
out, right?
Oh, I shit you not though. In high school, I remember there was this chick who was telling me that she got a police warning for torrenting. Like she was
Whoa.
pirating movies, and somehow the police were like, "Yo, I know you're pirating movies,"
Yo.
and I
Damn.
was scared shitless. I was like, "How do they know?"
So just quickly, it's kind of off topic, but it's not really. I went to China with my family, right?
Yeah.
And I
To the
used
motherland.
when I was in China, right, in mainland China, we were in Guangzhou, and I used a what's the thing called, proxy to try and get on Facebook.
Yeah.
Bro.
I got a big warning, like a big thing in Chinese popped up, basically said stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm sorry, like just close the laptop lid.
I'm sorry, you're
like,
being-
pushed it away. That's not happening anymore.
That is
Oh,
scary.
that's
yeah,
intense,
yeah, like actually, like
But bro,
it just-
they use like WeChat or some shit like that.
WhatsApp.
People
when
crazy.
that happened,
WhatsApp, they use Telegram. Shout out to Telegram.
Telegram, no, but WeChat's where it's at right now.
WeChat.
for that. Yeah,
How do you
the
spell
Chinese WE chat.
Nice. I'll look into it.
That's all the Asian people using.
No shit.
Sick.
They switched it from WhatsApp because now all the Indians are using it. I'm
Hey,
joking, that's really racist. I'm sorry.
hey man.
So then,
Telegram is
I don't
where
know
it's
this
at.
guy.
so then, with the breakdown though of like the course, so it's 10 weeks, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, do you guys reckon by halfway through the course you like learn? Because obviously it was quite a few years ago, but halfway through it, you really thought you learned quite a bit, and then by the end of it, do you reckon you've utilized as much as you could, kind of thing, or? Like
Kinda.
you've gotten enough knowledge from those guys, or do you reckon you could have got more, kind of thing? Or
I definitely felt like there was a need for more sort of one-on-one time within those group sessions, but I think that was just like it's 2 hours and they have so much content that they have to cover. So I
Yeah.
think by the time they can only allow for like 10 to 20 minutes of delays from people asking questions.
yeah, I was thinking that because obviously, like, because how big were the classes? Like 10 people, or
Sometimes
less,
they were seldom
a
that
bit
big.
less, or
It would-
about 10
it
or
was-
less, I'd say.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
usually in the vicinity of like 6 to 8.
yeah. See, that's kind of alright, but still, like 6 people. It's,
In 2 hours.
you know, if everyone's got a question,
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
answer
And with everybody being
everybody.
at different skill levels, sometimes you get somebody who just literally doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
And they're asking questions on every single topic, and you can see people getting like visibly pissed off and shit.
Yeah,
It happened a
exactly.
couple times in my group. Someone was getting a bit annoyed.
But you
Was
can't,
that you?
you can't
Was
help
that
that though.
No, man. I was thankfully I'd been using FL Studio on my own for a while, so I already
Sick.
knew some of the stuff.
What's it
Yeah.
called? I think that the whole stylistic differences between like say EDM or like beat making and hip hop is something you can't necessarily teach one-on-one in
Yeah,
a diverse
100%
class like
agree.
that. So I can understand a bit why you'd kind of be left a bit to be desired with the whole not knowing as much direction for say, unless you're filling in that little half step of information through YouTube videos and
That's
tutorials,
exactly it.
or you know someone directly who's already making beats like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's exactly it. It's like comparing someone who makes dubstep to someone who's in a band and recording music. It's like it's
Yeah.
two completely different things
Yeah,
in a
It's
way.
very different.
And
So
then
different.
even making house music and then using different plugins to try and make drum and bass or something like that. You know, it has similar elements, but there's
Yeah.
still two different things, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They have
That's-
different things that make
Yeah.
make it what it is.
Exactly. And then there's certain instrumental packs you just don't have to create house, and,
Yeah.
and they're probably not even using it. So you got to create. There's so many variables in
A lot
these
of
different
variables.
genres that there's only
Oh.
so much you can cover in 2 hours in 8 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks.
Yeah, but
It's
workflow
10
is something you
weeks.
did.
10
10
weeks,
weeks,
okay,
10
that's not
weeks,
bad.
yeah.
Maybe, you know what? I changed my mind. You can cover all the variables in 10 weeks.
Did you guys ever learn stuff about like live inputs and stuff like?
Oh, we did a
plugging in-
MIDI, like whole
Yeah.
MIDI. I think I wasn't sure if we did the whole day on MIDI, but we definitely covered MIDI pretty extensively, just showing us how to use the controller and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm.
But was that also like plugging in live instruments?
Nah,
Like,
not like live instruments.
Yeah,
and
there
stuff
wasn't
like
any of that in the one that I did.
Yeah.
It was because it's basic and Ableton. That's what it was. It was focused primarily on producing using Ableton.
You do get insight into the workflow though, which is technically kind of pretty, like that's pretty important, I'd say. Like just how when you get into the door, the first things you kind of reach for, how to organize like your
Yeah.
sounds and everything, so it's kind of intuitive. Showed us how to change the colors, like
Exactly,
you know what I
yeah.
mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
yeah.
some of the
but-
workflow stuff, like just those little like intuitive things that you might need to want to pick up along the way, so
Yeah.
things happen
Yeah.
faster.
I think
Definitely
it's-
taught us a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, because formatting is important. Like, you know, it's
100%.
like being able to have everything structured
Mm.
correctly, because you don't want it just to be a mess. Like,
Oh,
you want
man.
everything to, so you know where your drum rack is, and you know where this and that and is. And I mean, I don't really know much about Ableton. I'm more of an FL Studio guy,
Yeah.
but you know, it's similar, but it's different, obviously. But it's like, you know, having organization is key. Having
Definitely
things
key.
like being able to find what you want, where you want, and everything is
Exactly.
important.
If you don't have that station set up, you're 10 hours behind. You're
Well,
gonna,
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you guys ever get into any, like, did they show you Massive or Serum
Yeah,
or anything
they
like
had
that?
a whole synthesis
Yeah.
thing as well.
Yeah, I remember
Show us
that.
some basic synthesis and sound design.
For that they did give Serum to everybody though.
that's
Yeah.
sick.
They gave
Well,
Serum to everybody in
It
my,
was a trial.
my group. Yeah.
But still, as a trial,
I got
it's not
trial,
bad.
but yeah.
But you're still able to use it, and they can still teach you how to use sound design and stuff like that. It's just that you can't like save your presets or something like that.
Yeah. So with the trial version of Ableton, does that just like restrict you to like 30 minutes or something like
Nah,
that? or-
it's a restriction on the tracks that you make. So
When you have
honestly,
eight.
it's
You can't save them
Oh no, you can save
Oh,
them.
you can
You
save
can
them.
save them.
Upload
You can't have. No, it's like you don't have as many of the plugins or like the inbuilt effects, and then you have I think like 8 MIDI tracks and then 8 audio tracks. So that's as much as you can do.
True.
Which isn't bad if you actually really thought about it. Like, you know,
Yeah,
you
it's
could, I've,
not
like
bad.
some of my best beats were that many like tracks or whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is. Still a
So
very
like the
huge
whole
limitation.
idea. Oh, it is a huge limitation, but like. Yeah, it's pretty limiting. Like after I got it, I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't actually need it yet."
And I'm pretty
But
sure
then-
with the trial version, you also can't load. It's either you can't save or you
But
can't.
you can't
load.
export it. I think you
I don't
can't
know, man.
export it.
You can't,
I don't think you can't export
yeah,
it, right?
exporting's disabled.
Yeah, that's right.
As in,
Man.
So you just can't export it as
I
an
think
MP3 or
saving
something.
might
I
be
don't know.
disabled as
I
well.
think saving
'cause
is dis-
I know you can save and load projects. I know that's for
Okay.
sure. What's it
Okay,
called? Because
okay.
Harry's computer.
Alright.
I had a few projects just on Harry's laptop.
You just couldn't export them.
I wouldn't know, man.
Stuck there.
They're just ideas.
Yeah, he's got like
Lost to the
50. He's
abyss.
got this 100 project files. Like, what do I do now?
Could have made $1 million off those.
Yeah.
Was Lab 6 worth it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. Do you guys find that was worth it?
I think
Um,
so. At least from my position, it's kind of put me in my where I'm at right now. Without it, I wouldn't.
Man,
really
I'd
be
say
here.
from the position of somebody who's not well known at all in the music industry, somebody who's like new to the whole scene and has no idea sort of what they're doing, I'd say it's worth it because it's. I mean, you can get the equivalent of what they teach at Lab 6 by just being at by yourself watching YouTube tutorials. You can teach yourself everything that they teach you, but it's the difference of like having access to the resources, being introduced to the Facebook group, meeting people who have been doing this for a long time,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then having that sort of face-to-face interaction as well. And
yeah. But that's
being
exactly
able
it.
to ask questions.
Because like a lot of people, they
that's
don't
a
know where to
big thing.
start, kind of thing. It's like they want
Yeah.
to be in the industry, they want to
Because
make
even
music, but
we
they
could
don't
talk
know.
about music production now, but a lot of the people watching, if they're not into it, then they're not going to understand. It's
Yeah.
like a lot
That's
of jargon.
exactly
kind
it.
of-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Like yesterday, I was actually talking to my mate about cables and stuff. And I was saying like XLR cable, and he
Yeah.
had no clue what an XLR cable was. I was like, this is a standard audio cable.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
I explained to him like, okay, what do you call an RCA? And he didn't know what an RCA was. Googled it. Oh yeah, they're the red and white things you plug into your TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah. But
But
like
yeah.
even RCAs, like a lot of day to day, just normal people don't really know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say day-to-day people don't even know the fact that the sound of the microphone isn't the sound that they really hear on tape kind
Yeah.
of thing
No.
on the final pro. They don't realize there's all these effects aside from the auto-tune. They don't realize there's like compression and EQ
Exactly,
and
yeah.
saturation and
And
all
see, I've only
these
just
weird
started
stuff.
looking into that as well.
Like,
Right.
most people would just assume they have a good mic.
Yeah.
That's exactly it, which is kind of silly. It's like when we had our issues with our mics. And it's like, then what did you do, Mitch? Again, you put like a low pass and a high
A
pass.
compressor and a gate and a noise.
Just for people that couldn't hear, so he put a compressor, a gate, a low, and a limiter.
I like a low pass
Straight
filter
up.
as well. No, high pass filter.
A high pass.
I like high pass filters, especially on mics. It really makes the voice crisp.
But see, then like other people just wouldn't know what a gate is or a compressor or anything like that.
No, exactly.
But then, so Damo, how would you explain to people that don't know what is a compressor?
Oh, compressor. Well, when I'm
wait,
at
you
TAFE,
guys-
when I'm
well,
at
wait,
TAFE,
you
I
guys
use a
learned this.
board.
This is
I
like
use a
some of the
board.
boringest shit for people who aren't into production. This is cool. It's cool. It's cool.
So, I wish I had a whiteboard. That's how I explain it. No, absolutely. No, but I mean a whiteboard because I like to use the visual elements because it makes it so much easier to understand. Well, so what a compressor is, it's essentially, it actually doesn't, people get this confused. Compressors do not actually increase the volume. It actually decreases the volume. What compressors work is, if you have an audio signal that's at 20 dBs, we can push the threshold, which is we can push the activator of the compressor down to, let's say, 10 dBs, and then it'll cut off the 10 dBs into a ratio. So instead of getting 20 dBs, you're now getting 12 dBs.
All right, so just hold up. So,
Yes.
what does dB stand for?
Decibels.
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 And then what was the thing that you said before? as well?
Threshold?
Yeah, threshold.
Threshold is the activation key of the compressor. No.
Should we
See,
go more in
I'm
depth
like-
to
I know
this?
what you're talking
I'm like,
about, but
almost there. I want to say anything to not look stupid,
so
not,
easy
not
to
knowing
hear
about
now.
compression.
that's why,
I'm a
that's why I need a
producer.
whiteboard. That's why a whiteboard just makes it so
No,
much
what's
easier.
it called?
You're
You're like,
That's how I would explain to a toddler. I don't know how to not explain it easier.
Just be like,
Alright.
what?
Well, what's it called?
This is the thing. I come at it from a different
It's like-
perspective. I'm coming at it from an audio engineering perspective where you do need to know all that.
Well, I can probably put it into simple people
You
terms.
please do.
Yeah, so
If you could,
let's,
amazing.
let's go around the table.
It's taking a compressor will take a sound that has parts with where it's very loud and very quiet, and it will bring those levels closer together.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
sorry. I was
Raising the
explaining the
lows.
actual.
If you've got a snare with like a bit of a tail on it, if it's like, and you put a compressor on it,
You can cut the
you'll
tail
hear
off.
more of the tail, or you can cut the tail off.
Yeah,
You
with a
go,
release as well. You can then adjust
you make
that
it
with
be
a
like,
release.
or you can cut the tail off and make it be like.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when attack and release come in. Sorry, I was going way too in depth. I was talking about the.
That's
I was
why
talking
I
about how
can't
to
believe-
press my
actually-
drums.
Can't believe that's how you'd explain it to a toddler.
Well, no, I didn't. I
Yeah.
Like,
Just
tutorial?
the big version of the
Spell
waveform and then the
threshold
little
and
version of the
I was
waveform.
now
Whiteboard, just use the whole whiteboard.
So it's getting smaller.
yeah, legit. Because when you're talking to audio engineers, you gotta. That's how you have to say it to them. Because
Well, they
there's-
know,
Well, now, yeah, that's
But
they
we
know
know.
because I explain it to them like
but
that.
others don't. So
Yeah, but it really does. It's a great way of, and it doesn't.
is
It actually
why-
when it brings up the softer bits by bringing down the actually because it brings down the higher bits, and then when you turn the gain up on the compressor, it has to compensate by bringing up the low end. So it's actually not. It's more of a magnifying glass.
We introduced like 5 new elements.
Can I like?
I
let's
did.
go-
Can I like pivot
Alright.
from this and say this is why they were gatekeepers in the first place?
Yeah, exactly.
They were gatekeepers so that people didn't have to explain this.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I feel like if you try to teach a toddler how to produce, you would literally just sit him down in front of a computer and go, okay, here is a parametric equalizer. You're going to low cut this snare
Yeah,
drum.
you gotta low cut that.
We're gonna low
It's
cut it
No,
at
you're
80
doing it
hertz.
wrong. You're making it too choppy. You piece of shit.
Using the wrong frequency bands. No.
Yeah. So this is a multi-band compressor. All right, learn this. All right,
But so
that's
just
enough.
quickly though, so
Shit.
through Lab 6 you learnt about all of that stuff though, right?
A fair bit. You do learn about. They touch on compression and equalizing and stuff like that. They don't because it's a beginner's introduction course.
Yeah.
They don't really go deep on everything, but they sort of give you an introduction and tell you sort of what it does, and then you kind of left to feel it out from there. But they offer like individual courses that go deeper into most of the topics. So if
So-
you want to learn about effects and mixing and stuff, you can go into that. All these like synthesis and sound design.
So it's kind of like they have the beginners, an intermediate, and then a
Yeah,
professional course
yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
pretty
Pretty
much,
sick.
man.
But then
Yeah.
from doing the beginners course, would you guys suggest like if you do the beginners course, go and do the intermediate course kind of thing?
Yes, unless you have.
Because like you haven't, but then you've also got beats behind you.
The
and
only
pretty
thing,
cool
man, is
music
with
and
labs,
stuff.
it's so damn expensive.
Yeah.
It is. It's.
Yeah.
I feel like they could shave
Definitely.
a quarter off the price, and it'd be a good business model.
Yeah.
But like,
Maybe shave off the quarter off the intermediate. So there's also that,
yeah, maybe.
and then
It's
there's a incentive.
Oh, there's a
to then go for
returning
that.
there's a returning student discount though. I think it's a considerable amount. It's either I'd butcher it. It's either 10 to 20%.
Yeah.
If it's 20%, that's
That's
heck,
the-
that's
But
nuts.
the other thing
Pretty good.
is that if you have something that you want some advice on, is you can go in for the one-on-one sessions, and that's very
true.
like
yeah, you pay for
I've-
those also though.
you pay for those, but
But
from
are
what
they
I've heard
single
is that
sessions or?
single sessions with the guy
One-off.
with the instructor.
Okay.
That's pretty
And
One
you
off,
can
one on
have
one,
a straight
show
up
them a
with
track.
somebody who's like insane or had a pretty big fucking, I wasn't gonna say insane, but he's pretty insane in production.
big
but,
brain shit.
Yeah, big boy shit. But you get that one-on-one with him, you can really discuss anything that you have about production or with specific projects or like
Yeah.
any questions like that.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard from people who have gone, they definitely get like a lot of help from that.
Yeah.
An opportunity,
yeah.
because when you have something dope and you take it to them, they'll recognize how dope that is too,
Yeah.
and they'll want to help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is pretty cool though, because I thought you'd, because I used to know this girl who moved to Bali to go do DJing, and she disappeared. And she's a horrible DJ and blah 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 blah. Right? I'm
Not
not
you can
naming
stay in
names.
Bali.
Oh, DJ.
I'm not naming names, but it's like it's one of those girls is like, I want to be a DJ because I've got boobs, so it's just like it's a headache, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she went
Well,
and did
from
the
how big
one.
your tits are.
No,
Like,
no, it's just
costing
like
Weighs your head down.
it's
Looking at them.
it's just silly, and me and a few others refer to her as as the prawn. So,
Oh man.
right, but other than that, though, right, is
There's
that
a lot of face palming in the room.
What does that mean? I don't know. What does that mean?
Have you ever seen District 9?
Oh, yeah.
It's the fucking prawns.
Oh.
So she went and did a one-on-one DJ course, right? But I feel like she didn't take anything out of it, kind of thing. Because like obviously when they teach you to a expectation kind of thing, like to a certain degree and certain level. But like doing a one-on-one DJ course, it seemed like it didn't work. She just did it to try and get her name in the door and foot in the door. But then doing one-on-one course producing, that sounds amazing though.
Yeah.
Because then if you come up with a cool beat and you go and show an actual professional who's been doing it for years and years, and they're like, this is a sick tune. Yeah. And then like maybe you could do this or do that. They'll work out quite well. I mean, would you guys ever consider doing that?
No, well, that's kind of like the goal, to be honest. Like, have something sick and then take it to them and be like, yo, can you make this even sicker? Like, help me.
Well, that's exactly it.
I was going to say, do they really enjoy the enthusiasm? Do they, when they see a student who's actually
definitely.
They'll pick out rising
they
stars.
pick out,
Oh, really?
That's good.
I know.
That's good,
I was going to say about Ruben.
One of our friends, Ruben, he's just this kid who had like sort of a natural knack for
just like really
chopping up samples.
Yeah, like his percussion game is insane.
He seemed to be either a little bit tone deaf though, or he wasn't sensitive to musical scales or keys.
Yeah,
so he
mixing was a bit off.
You'd hear him. He'd be playing two like conflicting notes or something, and he wouldn't even notice. And you'd be sitting there going, "Oh, that's definitely needing some tuning." And he's not bothered by it. So I think it's one of those things where he's got like a huge strength when it comes to chopping. But like when you hear the stuff he does though, it's like whoa,
it's insane. Like a lot of it is like such a strong vibe and like it's
shout out
really
Ruben.
Shout out Ruben. But his stuff is like really Flume influenced as well. I think.
Oh really?
Nowadays he's trying to get a bit more away from being so Flume influenced because he was like crazy about Flume for a while. But
a lot of people.
He'd come up with this stuff and then he'd take it to Jeremy. They'd be like, "Yo,
this is Flume?
Like you came up with this."
Real.
And like he'd just generally be there to try and help him, like guide him through some stuff. Like I think you need to mix this a bit better and do stuff like that for him. So they're definitely really there to help you out, like in that sense.
Yeah, that's great. That's what you need though, because that's the kind of like instruction, like guidance you kind of need if you do make something and you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
and you want to make it better.
But the flip side of that though is that it can feel a bit like there's an element of favoritism.
Yeah,
because I never got any sort of one-on-one time, but I knew that some of the other people in the class were getting like pulled aside and they were saying like, oh hey, like we'll talk with you and you know like they were sorting stuff out in private time. So it's like, you know, there's kind of some people get chosen over others, and it'll sometimes it's a thing of skill. Sometimes
it's like it's like classroom stuff kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, like
kind of like that.
This is natural. Do you think it's just natural?
Lecture goes, hey, does anyone have questions? No one puts their hands up, then right after it ends, like everyone goes to ask a question kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
like
always that, isn't it?
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. When you were saying before about like melodies and like melodic kind of thing, did you guys get taught the scales and stuff at all through it?
No, that's
we were mentioned about it. I think
they
we
do
like
talk
briefed
about
it, but
yeah. They do talk about it a little bit, but that's like those are musical scales. That's like actual.
That's music theory. Yeah,
that's music
that gets
theory
in the range of
that,
music
so
theory.
they don't really teach.
They're not there to teach that. No, they're just there to teach you how to use Ableton.
True. Yeah.
Music theory is somewhat part of that because they've got to show you how to use a piano roll, which is where you're programming all your melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, music theory. That's something they kind of.
So they don't. So
then
then
they taught us how to do like chord progressions, make a basic melody, but nothing like too advanced into it like that.
Yeah. But then, so like, then if someone goes and makes, you know, a melody, but then obviously it's not in the right key, do they say that's not?
Oh
key?
yeah, they'd pick it out. Like, there's opportunities to present stuff that you've created, and then you know they'll either critique it or they'll get, you know, they'll.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. It's like, imagine if you make a really cool track, but it's not in a key, or you go through 3 or 4 different keys, and maybe
well, that's
you
the
shouldn't
kind of
do
stuff
that.
that they'll tackle in their one-on-one sessions.
Yeah.
If you take them your work, and then they help you refine it.
And then they really just tear it apart.
That's when they help you refine it, to the max.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Because like, well, you go.
I'd love to get. I'm just wanting to get, you know, some tracks together that are actually like, you know, really good level, so that I can take them to one of the guys there and be like, yo, you know, help me do something with this. I want to elevate this, take this track to the next level.
Yeah, because I find that's a really important thing. Like.
Yeah, you got to get someone to show you the ropes.
Not even that, just like melodies and keys and stuff like that. It's like, because not naming names once again, but we've had, you know, at Capital someone come along with a thumb drive and like, yeah, put this on and stuff like that. And so then it's like Death Disco are playing. They're like, okay, what key is it in? So we can mix it in, and make it work.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
see.
know.
Yeah,
And it's
I know what
like,
you mean,
but
man.
you made it. Why don't you know what key it's in? Like, you
I'm gonna
should
be
know.
honest though, like when I produce, I don't necessarily go by a key or anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of play it by ear and see what sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of freestyling.
But that's what I mean as well. Like that can really, really work out.
Yeah.
Because then you obviously, like, you know, the number one thing you should do is trust your ears, because your ears are the things that will hopefully not let you down.
It's the most powerful tool you have.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most powerful
Unless
tool you
you're
have.
tone deaf.
Yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, if you're going to do production, you should learn about musical theory.
I
Kind
think-
of
Yeah,
thing.
well,
Yeah, 100%. You need to learn music theory.
Yeah.
You do.
Because otherwise, it's like, you know, you can go and learn the door back to front.
I still haven't quite grasped music theory, but
Well,
I've
the
at
same
least
thing.
put effort into it. You know,
Yeah.
like I'll watch videos and stuff, and
Yeah.
You at least know what a scale is. And a chord.
yeah, to an extent.
See, that's the same thing with me. Like DJing out and about, knowing the circle of fifths off by heart. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah, circle of fifths. Yeah.
So, just for the people that don't know, Mitch, can you pull up the circle of fifths?
do the
the Camelot
interactive one.
Or you can't.
No, because
You
I
can't.
changed my display from
You can't.
to extended, and I need to restart Streamlabs. And if I restart Streamlabs,
Then we aren't live anymore.
Ah.
This is his fault, Mitch.
Damn.
Can we pull up your phone? Can
You-
you,
you
can
had
grab-
one
can you
job?
remember his
No.
phone or no? No.
You had one job.
Hold it to the camera. You got it.
What?
All right, we're gonna start doing
Damn,
that.
That's some
tonight.
real caveman shit.
Wait. If you give me like 30 seconds, I'll
Caveman shit. Caveman shit.
Caveman.
It's not even on
Can they
screen,
see
eh?
Pull it up. Yeah.
That's
So-
the circle of fifths.
You can't obviously read it, but the circle of fifths is. And like, so
I
with
can't
that,
hit your hand now because I'm watching it on the delay.
with DJing, if you don't know the Camelot wheel or you don't know how to kind of mix in key, then you know you can't. You can DJ and going off your ears, but to make things sound nice, you have to go off the Camelot wheel,
Yeah.
because that's just like, it's just you go around the circle, you go back around the circle. But if you start jumping all over the place, things
too
just
messy.
sound. Yeah, exactly. The energy levels of the tracks, they're just all over the place. You might go from really upbeat to really, really chill and mellow, and back to upbeat, and then this and that, and it can cause issues. And that's the same thing I can imagine with like playing melodies and stuff like that. Like you gotta make sure
Yeah.
it works and
Yeah.
fits in.
If
kind
it
of
doesn't
thing.
work, you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless tone deaf.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Unless you just have kind of a shit taste in the music.
Yeah.
We
Which
could
is
deep dive
Which
into
is a big
melodies.
thing in
That's-
today's day and age, unfortunately. So many people
Dude.
don't have good taste in music. We can definitely talk about that later.
Yeah,
Like,
Man, half the trouble with that is that those people go on to become music producers.
yeah. It's like, it's
Not
talking
naming
about,
names, but what do you mean? What do you mean by that? As in, what do you define as good taste in music?
Oh man,
That's
just,
actually something I think about too.
Yeah.
It's a-
I
it's
look
a
at
super good
influences in
question, that-
history.
I think
So-
it's
the way I've always been taught through Death Disco and stuff like that is that if you go and play a song, right, and you can't hum it, or you put it on a shit car stereo and it sounds really, really bad, like noise, then it's a shit song. But if you can hum it, and then on a shit car stereo, you know, like imagine like if you put Rufus on like an old 1980s Ford Falcon or something like that,
it would still sound alright, eh?
yeah, it still
No, I
sounds
know what you
nice. Yeah, or like Empire of the Sun, or this or that, or you know, like.
what about harsh, noisy sort of genres like
Well,
black
that's-
metal and
Rhythm.
power noise and
No,
stuff?
but
Rhythm.
see, like even with that, they're like, you know,
There's
guitar.
hums. Yeah,
you
there's
can
melody.
still hum it. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
if you're gonna put like rhythm on, you can't hum rhythm. It's like kind of thing. Like you can't really like.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like I don't
Yeah.
know how you guys feel about this. I didn't know to ask you guys prior, but like for me, I just wish rhythm would die.
Do you have any friends who are
wish
rhythm
it
producers?
Go away.
Do you have any friends who are rhythm producers?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got a couple.
Do you,
I know some
And they just
rhythm
put their
lovers.
earbuds in. It's like nee.
No, rhythm is one of those genres, man. People either love it or they hate
Yeah.
it. I love it on occasion. It depends, but like I'm
It
fussy.
depends
There's
on
With,
the
good
song,
and
though,
bad.
as
yeah,
well.
man. Yeah, there's a lot of rhythm that it's just like, oh, okay,
Noise.
they've just done this. You know,
Exactly.
copied the formula.
That's
from
like
every
if
other artist.
someone says like, oh, I don't like drum and bass, but that's saying you don't like jungle, you don't like neuro, you chill, liquid, you don't like jump up. You know, it's such a vast variety of thing. Obviously, rhythm is still rhythm, but I'm pretty sure it's like trench, There's like
There's some
three
like that,
styles
man. There's,
of it. or
there's shit
something.
music in every genre.
Yeah,
Rhythm.
explain rhythm. Define rhythm. Is there a threshold of rhythm?
Okay, I'll define rhythm.
Threshold
Getting
of rhythm.
serum
Was he attacking
and
the least?
downloading patches, making a noise, and then throwing bass over it.
Is that
So-
rhythm?
Just basically getting a noise, throwing a gate over it, and then just like adding the filter, so it'll just like once every 4 bars or it'll filter or whatever.
I
like,
knew-
Modulation.
Yeah,
I
modulation.
knew a rhythm
Yeah.
producer.
See, I've never actually studied any of this. This is all going off YouTube tutorials. alright?
I never forget when I seen this. I was like hanging out with this rhythm producer who's on Ableton making this beat, and there was literally just this one flick, and you're just there for 10 minutes trying to get it perfect.
Yeah.
Like there's people who just really do put their heart and soul into rhythm.
Oh yeah,
Of course,
man. Yeah. There's an aspect of rhythm that's very elaborate and beautiful, but then there's some. Yeah, man. Like every
Kinda
genre,
like,
there's some
Exactly.
It's
people
like
are really
trap,
good at it, and some
trap
people are shit
production
at it.
these days as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, a lot of like drill. Do you think UK drill especially is just
UK
some of it
drill.
now is okay, but when it first started
Oh.
off, holy.
Well, no,
moly.
here's the thing, because now we do an Aussie drill.
Oh god, no, let's forget about that.
There we go, we
We're
got a
all trying to
comment.
do like some Aussie grind, like.
Ewan Colvin.
Hey.
Come on, man. There's more to a two-step
Sh-
rhythm bass line than a
Shout
gate.
out to you and
Hey, oh shit!
Dude, he's showing you up, bitch. What are you gonna say?
I don't even know. But no,
Yo.
like, no, I agree. That's like what we were just
Yeah.
saying before. You
Yeah.
know,
What is good
If-
taste and what's not bad taste?
yeah, that's exactly it. It's like you can go and get a song and you can only maybe use 5 samples in that song.
Yeah.
Or like five different elements. But then you can get people like, I think it's Flying Lotus.
Yeah.
And he throws like 30 or 40 different ideas into one song.
Yeah,
Ewan
he's pretty
said,
wild.
"Don't worry, I dislike rhythm too."
Oh, okay.
Can we like that comment?
Uh,
But like, you get what I mean though. It's like, yeah, report it.
remove the comment. Okay.
But
Adam is moderator.
But you get what I mean though, because like music can be defined as anything.
Yeah.
It can be tapping away at things. It can be birds bloody singing in the park or something like that. But then it's still like what you would class as a
Yeah.
track or a song. It's like it's brewed up to
Yeah.
be someone's creation in a way to be able to express themselves.
Yeah,
kind
it's a
of thing.
cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it goes back to like, what do you have a definition? What you define as good musical taste?
Yeah, like what are
Toughen?
your favorite genres, you guys?
And
Like
you-
favorite
you
kind
do
of
Kiki.
style.
Is there anything?
Oh, I always have this is another one of my epiphanies. You ever listen to a song, you love it so much, and then the minute you show someone, it's like a completely different song.
Yeah, no, I
Like
have
that's
had
like
that.
that's like my internal life problem of like
Yeah.
my music taste is so weird. It's so great to me, but the minute I try to show someone,
Yeah.
it's like,
Well,
yo,
dude,
this is trash.
I'm 100% the same boat. My favorite genre is Berlin techno and French disco electro.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you go and show,
That sounds awesome.
no, it's good, but sometimes people just find it too industrial and too
It
like.
just hits
Yeah.
different for some certain
Exactly.
people. Like they don't hear it the same way, which is
Yeah.
the main thing.
Yeah.
Either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
yeah.
Some people it was a sound of the time, man. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. These are so niche, and they're getting more and more niche. Like, what the fuck is Berlin techno?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
literally designed for people
That
from
is
Berlin.
pretty
Yeah, that's it. But that's what I'm getting at, though. It's like they have the
Yeah.
population.
You have an
they all
audience of
make
what,
it-
5 million?
But
Yeah.
that-
but-
I mean, there's
if
money
you get what I
there's
mean,
money
like
there.
word
Yeah,
spreads, and then it's just like it happens. It's
Exactly.
like how with Perth, you know,
Yeah.
Perth and London are the capital cities of the world for drum and bass. But
No.
you didn't know
I
that.
didn't know about Perth. I didn't know Perth.
No, Perth
was,
is the second. London's the first, and then
Right.
Perth.
Wow, I did not know
That's
that.
why we always get so many drum and bass artists from the UK.
That's true, actually.
And they don't go over to Melbourne. They don't go to Sydney. They come to Perth.
We've got Mr. Traumatic soon,
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Dude, every year Sub Focus comes here and freaking Goldie and stuff.
and then we
Because
had
they love it here.
we got Pendulum Noises making their
Yeah,
last
Pendulum
ever.
come in all the time.
Yeah, Noisy is making their last ever appearance. Their last
Mm.
show ever is at Origin,
Origin.
in Perth. Not in England,
Bro,
not over
I'm
in
gonna
Spain or
freaking
something.
cry
in
if I don't
Perth.
get to go this year, man. There's so many good artists going to Origin this year, and this year they're making it it's going to be a full like almost
Two-day
like a
amusement
festival.
park
They're
or
going to have
something?
some rides there, man.
Yeah.
There's
Whoa, hell yeah.
I
You
think
better have the
I
Ferris
saw
wheel.
there's
lit
a
up.
carousel.
Very sick.
There's bumper cars, and I think there might be a Ferris wheel. But there's like 6 official ride names on the website, so it's like there's gonna be some sick shit there this year, man. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, man, that's sick. And I think Origin is.
Oh wait,
yeah,
you were saying
shit,
so.
you were
wait,
still
wait.
saying.
Yes, they are touring all next year, and then that's it for them. Oh, true. But wasn't there a post that I thought there was a post saying that was their last show? Who-
I think last show in
they
Perth.
said it was their
Or
last
maybe
show
the
in
last
Perth, I
festival or
think.
something. Oh yeah, last show in Perth. Yeah,
Yeah.
something silly. Yeah,
Was it Foreign Beggars
Noises
also had the
and
last show in Perth,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
yeah.
Not too
Where is
long
that?
ago.
And-
See, they've been
I-
around for so long.
I'm sure I'm just starting to get into it. It's being known Alex has only just started getting into that whole the genre, the subgenre
Right,
of electro, and you
right.
are the man for that, right?
Sort of, yeah. I can't, yeah.
And my
I'm
boy
more on
over
the
there's
dubstep.
and my boy over there's the man for hip hop.
Yes.
We're gonna be
Yeah, this man knows everybody. in hip-hop.
Beautiful.
I like to say so, but I don't really.
Yeah, well, you've introduced me to a fair few artists that like I bop these days.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
artists I didn't know before. I'm listening to them too.
Well, let's.
I can't believe I'm listening to a Lil Pump song though.
Ooh, I fucked him up with
You
a
fuck
Lil
with Lil
Pump
Pump?
song.
Yeah,
you
he's on
hear
the
this
shopping spree,
spiritual
bro, of all the
motherfucker.
songs.
Now listen
When I
to
go
Lil Pump
shopping,
and
I
talk.
buy everything I see. Oh, what?
What you want? I want that Paddock Philippe.
A bitch with double dick. Yeah, I don't know why, man.
It's a
I usually
fire
don't like
song.
music like that, but that particular song is just like fun.
Yeah.
real fun.
See, I
Big
100%
Baby
agree.
Dram.
But-
Big Baby Dram. Do you know Big Baby Dram?
Big Baby Dram.
You know Big Baby Dram? He did money. He
You
was
mean
the guy
Dram?
who did Broccoli.
Yeah,
Lil
just
Yachty.
Dram. It's just
Dram,
Dram now.
sorry,
It's just Dram. Dead real ass music.
But
Yeah.
that's exactly it though, and that's where it's like, you know, when people just say like, oh, mumble rap and this and that, things shine out of darkness. It's like with trap, like when trap, like when we were talking about that, when trap first started coming out with like stooky sounds and stuff like that,
Yeah.
some of it was horrible,
Yeah.
but there was some of
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
fucking great.
Well, what is Trapper Valley, man? What is Trapper Valley if not the defining trap album? You know that really.
Trapper
You know Trapper Valley by Waka Flocka Flame. Do you know?
Waka
You know what I'm
Flocka.
talking?
Oh,
You know
I
what I'm
don't
talking
know.
about?
I think that one went over my head.
Flockavelli. It was Flockavelli.
Machiavelli. Yeah.
Flockavelli. I
That was
apologize.
him doing Machiavelli too.
Yeah,
Man, you're
but
butchering all the names.
there's also Machiavelli by my boy Machiavelli, aka Tupac. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, my boy.
See, I find just quickly, I find Waka Flocka Flame so funny though.
He's amazing,
Bro.
I like that guy.
He just goes Waka Flocka.
No, but
Flocka
he's
Flocka.
going like crazy in the studio. Like
Yeah.
that's why you jump to it because he's actually there shouting at the
Yeah,
mic.
he's shouting.
He's actually there
Exactly.
screaming Waka, which is why you love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
hear it on the mic, on the actual song, it's like Waka Flocka.
Yeah, well, you see the video of him in the studio.
Yeah, and then
just,
you
like,
got to turn it
screaming.
down, and like I just can't like I love the
Just
fact that the
clipping,
guy has to
like-
turn it down, and then it's just in the background, like
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's like they just like the guy who's the producer or whatever. He just like clicks on the mic thing and is like, all right, can we try that again? But can we try not clip the mics
Yeah.
this time?
It's like, all right,
Just like
try.
quieten it down a bit.
Yo,
and he's
stand like 2 feet behind.
Yeah, it's so good. And there's like the pow pow. And he's just going. And it's like the clip. It's like the famous. It was like the MP4 where it's just clips of Flocka going bow blow blow, and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's just opposed on top of each other. So it's like you hear like 20 different blows, like slightly delayed. It's just like a big wall of noise.
See, I can never forget that song. It's like Hard in the Paint or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
it's
Oh,
so
like
good.
Hard in the Money or whatever it
The
is.
hard in the motherfucking paint. And then you got it's Obama. What was it? It was it was like Obama Flock of Flame, and it was the Obama parody. It's like this guy is a really amazing Obama
wait,
doppelganger.
Oh, that one guy.
Yeah, the one guy. He's like
one
this
guy
really
is always,
amazing
he's
impersonator.
always been the Barack Obama. I don't
Barack
remember his-
Obama. That's it. Barack Obama. That's it. And he does all the He does like Waka Flock of Flame parodies, but in the style of Barack Obama. It works.
God damn.
It works, man. Oh, it's good shit, man. That's old school YouTube.
What's
It's like
it
10
called?
years ago, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Waka Flocka Flame too, man. I remember reading about that guy who was 23. It's like Chief Keef, man. How old is Chief Keef now? He's like
Wow,
25.
Chief Keef is pretty old, but you know what's fucked is that everybody considers him a legend.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think?
Everybody's like
Do
been
you fuck with-
influenced by Chief Keef kind of
Do you
thing.
fuck with Chief Keef now?
I don't listen to a lot of Chief Keef because it just wasn't my time. Like
wasn't
I
your
wasn't
time,
into
bro.
hip hop at that point in time. Like it
Not
wasn't really
familiar
my
with
thing
him.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're not familiar? Yeah. Of course you wouldn't.
No,
fucking
but
pleb.
I've done my research on
Like-
Chief Keef. Like,
I love how I can call you a pleb and show talking about the shittest music possible. A guy who can barely
Well, you know,
speak.
what's it called? Bass God? Fucking
Oh,
Lil B, the bass
The
God.
bass guy.
What is
Oh,
just
man.
quickly? What is with all these new age rappers?
With Lil?
having Lil,
And Young.
yeah, and young.
Lil.
It started with Lil Wayne. Everyone wanted to be Lil Wayne.
Yeah, it was Lil Wayne.
Everyone wanted to be Lil Wayne.
Really,
You
though?
can't deny that,
It's
man.
a southern thing. It's Lil Too Short, Lil Wayne.
But I
a lot
thought-
of other
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
But
It's
Lil
really
Wayne's
southern thing.
horrible.
What do you?
Is it
Whoa,
Lil- is it Lil Too
Like
Short?
some of
Lil, the
Lil
Lil
Wayne, I
Too
reckon.
Short back in the day.
What,
with
you
like
mean the
David
midget?
Banner.
He's
We're
like the
talking-
midget.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
legit.
the midget.
The midget. He's legitimate. Yeah.
Fuck, that's
like-
real old school.
Yeah, but
man.
that's
that's
like, he's
old,
like 40.
old school.
That's talking like Dave. We're talking
They
about
do-
Ti
they-
at this point.
Nah, but
We're going back to like the 90s.
bro, that's too far back.
Yeah, early 2000s. 3-6 Mafia. Alright, so I gotta stop. We gotta calm down.
But like, don't you guys think that Lil Wayne did sell out though? To, over
Yeah,
the top?
100%. There is a point. Yeah, I think you could argue.
Like, did you
yeah.
guys ever see the advert? Right, they actually had to take the advert off. But when they brought out the new Samsung Galaxy, I think it was the S8, maybe, or they advertised as waterproof. And in the advert, Lil Wayne's actually like throwing his phone in a fish tank and then like grabbing it out and then talking to someone.
That's fucking funny.
And then people actually tried that and it didn't work on their phone. So they had to completely remove the advert off the bloody TV. and
That's
stuff like that.
amazing. That's so funny.
But the way he did it, it's like, you know, he's got his gold teeth, his dreads and stuff
yeah,
like
he's
that.
got
Yeah.
it's like it's Wayne, Wheezy, is way
If you can,
swagged out.
try and find, go on YouTube, right, and just post it in the comments. So, have you guys ever heard of Super Deluxe before?
Super deluxe. I feel
Super
like I
Deluxe.
have.
You mean Super Deluxe? Yeah, I know Super
Yeah.
Deluxe.
That when the Hillary Clinton thing was happening, like
Yeah.
with her running for president, Trump
the air
running for
horns and shit. And they did
exactly, yeah. Look up Super Deluxe Lil Wayne, and it's
Wait,
the
what?
funniest thing ever. It is so funny.
Little wine.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter full interview. I think it is. No, that's ABC News.
No, that's the actual interview. No, it's the first one. Vic Berger presents rappers.
I think it is. Yeah. No, it's not this one.
No, you sure?
But I just post. Oh wait, what's the? No, it's really funny because like he just sits there. And it's like the microphone's too close to his mouth, and you can hear him like.
Is that?
Yeah, that kind of thing. And he's just trying to talk, and they just keep cutting it. And he's like, whips out his handkerchief and like flicks it.
Yeah.
And he looks at the girl and like, "You're a bitch."
It's like, yeah, I love
so
the,
funny.
the best is when he's being interviewed by a 50-year-old woman for like 60 minutes, and he says, my mother raised me to have politeness with a fine woman like you. He's like, thank you so much, Lil Wayne. And he has the lean part of the and he feels like, oh my god. And she's like, it's okay, no, this is a disaster. I love it.
So is he actually a Southern rapper then?
He is
Yeah.
Atlanta.
True.
Ooh, wait, New Orleans? Or that Birdman?
Oh wait, is that Bird? Is that Birdman?
Birdman's from New Orleans.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty
Birdman.
sure Lil Wayne was definitely really influenced by New
Yeah,
Orleans.
Bird- yeah,
If he wasn't from there, he was
He was
really
Atlanta.
influenced.
I'm pretty sure. Hey, look up. Lil Wayne has to be Atlantic. He has to be Atlanta.
New
Yeah, New
Orleans,
Orleans.
boy. Louisiana's still south though.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's still
that's
south.
deep south, man.
Yeah,
that's
Louisiana's
that's on
still
top of Miami.
south now.
That's on top of
But
Florida.
so
Just quickly, what was the percentage of African Americans that make up America again? What was
It's in the deep south. It's 30%.
30%.
In Atlanta, it's like 30%.
oh, bro, Louisiana.
New Orleans is 30%. In
I thought it was
America as
less
a
than
whole,
that.
it's 13%. I
Yeah,
believe.
13%.
New Orleans is pretty crazy though for that kind of culture. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
well, that's what
they
it's
have
pretty-
it's all over the place over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The whole-
12.1%.
Wow.
But see, that's where it's like, you know, for him to actually shine above the rest and keep pushing and pushing and not try and be like Kanye
Bro,
West, but like
He was
you know,
the
like-
hottest shit on the block since he was like 8 or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He
He
was
was
rapping
a
since he was
kid,
13.
and yeah, he was like 12 years old, and he was the hottest thing on the block still.
I
Like
think
that's
he-
the crazy
I
part
thought his
about him.
career started when he was like 25 or something.
No,
No, he
he
was very
been
s-
rapping since a kid. Like
Yeah.
he
Wow.
was like 12, and he was the hottest on the block, and then Birdman found him,
Exactly.
took him in, and then he became part of like the
Young
Hot
Money,
Boys or
Cash
whatever.
Money. Yeah, the Hot Boys.
The Hot Boys
Hot
was the first one, so it was part of a rap group, and then he was clearly like
The most.
everyone
charismatic.
fucked with him the most anyway. And then through that, he did the mixtapes and all. Like he went crazy with the mixtapes with Birdman,
Yeah.
and then Carter and all that.
Yeah, the Carter. It's going up to Carter
Well,
5.
It's the legacy, and then the build up, and then there was the disappointment because he got arrested and all that and shit like
Yeah.
that, and he
And-
went to prison. So there's a lot of stuff in his life that kind of
Have you seen the
contribute
most?
to his career as
At
well.
least he wasn't like Diddy though and tried to pee on a girl.
Oh man, Diddy's all
Bro.
No, was that
That was R.
actually-
Kelly. That was
No,
R.
that's
Kelly.
R. Kelly,
Kelly.
sorry,
Oh
yeah.
man, and then
You
everyone
can't put
did
that dirt
sex
on Diddy's
cult.
name.
I know R. Kelly's
Diddy
running
did
that
too
sex
much.
cult. But bro, you heard about R. Kelly's running a sex cult, man?
Oh, dude.
Dude, you want like he's got like these women in his mansion, and
Bro, and no one wanted to talk about it for
No.
years. That it was like one of
Yeah.
the music industry's
man.
biggest secrets.
Yeah.
No
This
one wanted to
bizarre
talk about
thing
it.
that no one
That is
wanted to talk
nuts,
about
dude.
how.
I
yeah.
just
Well,
I
it's
just
scary.
I just saw parts of the Netflix series that came out about that, and it's
Oh, man.
crazy, man. The shit that's going on. Even like right now, there's still like a couple of parents out there who like
Still
haven't
don't
seen their
have-
daughter in years, kind
Wow.
of thing, and she's still living in there being
And
abused.
she's in love with her, and they have
Yeah,
Stockholm
like
syndrome. They have full
willingly-
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, man, I'm not too sure what goes on, but I think it's just the
There's
position
a lot
that
of
he's
stuff.
in as far as
I remember watching interviews of people describing it. Apparently, he had like a bed inside the studio,
Yeah.
Oh.
which is
know.
cooked. Like he has
Yeah.
a bed
Bad.
inside. He wasn't there for sleeping.
No.
Wasn't there for sleeping.
No, man. I think.
Well, Well,
I was gonna say, I think it was his. He's a very charismatic guy. He's a handsome dude. He's very domineering. You see him in any interview, you can just take control. I think he just applied that level of psychology to these rather young women who are just starstruck by that guy, which is pretty messed up when you think about it.
it is, yeah.
I think when we talk about America and the whole industry of anything, well, entertainment industry, there's always been this like huge sexual allegation type of stuff going on.
Yeah,
It's
a lot of
very
stuff.
brutal.
So I don't fault it too much to R. Kelly and him being a singular source,
No,
because I think
man.
as a sign
But
of
he's
the
one of the-
times,
but he's the
he's just
thing.
one of the ones that we really figured out already.
But he's also a
probably
big
one of
guy.
the worst
He's-
ones we
You
figured
know
out.
what
It's
blows
worse
my
one.
mind about
Yeah.
the whole thing though is
Yeah.
it's like when you're R. Kelly, you don't have to do that kind of fucked
No.
up shit to get
No,
any
but
woman
you're
you
like
want.
living
worst
high
thing.
as fuck.
Yeah,
You're like
R.
a god
Kelly.
at that point.
That's what they talk about Bill Cosby. Because Bill Cosby literally had access to any woman he wanted. He was the biggest name in the world.
Yeah,
But he preferred to touch kids.
No, he didn't. He would
No?
drug women.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
drug
yeah.
women and then
Right.
have his way with them.
yeah.
It's
But
awful.
We've gone off topic.
We have-
kind of.
we have.
Just a little bit.
just a
R.
little
Kelly.
Yeah, like R. Kelly in the
How the
way.
fuck did we get here?
But,
Hang on.
Right.
Let's readdress the situation.
readdress.
All right, what's
Re
going
up.
on?
Tuffety. So
Yes,
you did a gig the other week, right?
Oh
Yes.
yes, we.
let's plug that. So what happened? What was that? How was that?
Okay, so we know a guy named. He calls himself Alaska.
It's
He
your
goes
boy
as-
Alaska.
Boy Alaska.
Your boy Alaska.
Hey,
Shout
Alaska,
out.
you like being named after R. Kelly?
Oh.
And he, he had a mixtape that he's just finished, and he was launching.
Home of
that.
Cards out
So
on
I-
stream services now.
Yeah,
Plugging
I
that shit.
stepped in as his DJ because I did the last event for him and it went well, so he wanted me to do it again.
So it did go well then with you DJing and stuff.
Yeah, man, it went according to people that spoke to me afterwards. Yeah, it went really well. I got people coming up and giving me compliments and stuff, and saying like I did really good. And,
So-
one of the guys from the band actually said that like my DJing was his favorite part of the night. And I was
That's
like,
pretty cool.
Shit, there's like 4 or 5 artists here tonight. You know.
What type of tunes did he play though? Like, did you just play instrumentals?
Well, you know, you gave me that massive folder full of hip hop. I was playing like a bit of stuff out of that. Well, mostly everything I played was out of that. So
Of course, yeah.
I spun a few of my deep dub tunes at one point in the night, because I was able to get away with some stuff like that. But yeah, I kept it mostly to just like some throwback, just like rap tunes. I was playing Tribe Called Quest,
That's it.
a little bit of
Some fresh perf hip hop too.
Yeah, man, I was playing some of McKenna's tunes, MKNA. Shout out the homie.
And Light Skin Sage.
Yeah.
Acid Trip in
Yeah,
Your Brain.
yeah. Well, I tried to play Acid Trip. in Your Brain,
Oh
but I was
wait,
having
yeah,
problems
that
with the
was
folder.
an issue, eh?
Well, you try to play some Trippy Red?
No, just a song some of our mates made. I tried to play that, but I think something was wrong with the file, and it wouldn't. There was like some other vocals playing over some shit.
Same.
But yeah, that went really cool, man. Kiki and GHK, they did a set there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We, did,
So
we
you-
opened and hyped for
you
Alaska.
rapped?
No shit.
You wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Were you a
Yeah.
hype man? Were you a hype man as well?
Yeah, I was hyping for Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
So that was great. We
Was it kind of just freestyling or?
No,
like
so
you
like
prepared?
I've done like projects. So I've got like a group project, and then like in terms of songs, we technically made like 2 group projects worth of songs, and I've got like my own solo stuff that I do as well. So
Sweet.
yeah, we
Busy
for the
man
night.
for 19.
Oh well, yeah. Well, actually, I always look at it like, man, I was like 4 years younger doing this.
You know what's crazy, man, is how long we've known each other and we still haven't made a track.
Oh,
We
yeah.
still haven't
No,
collabed.
but
on-
you make EDM.
yeah, but
No, we have tried to make tracks. It's just never been like serious in that
Yeah.
sense. Like we're gonna make a track.
Fat trap song with rap vocals.
Or or
What's it
maybe
called?
what is it like the UK drum and bass scene? How they have rappers on the top of them.
yeah.
What was that one guy like? I love drum and bass. It's a stinky bitch. Right?
Oh, Mr. Traumatic.
Yeah, Mr. Traumatic.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can make like a Mr.
Mr.
Traumatic
Traumatic
song.
song.
beat.
Have you heard about Bad Rapper?
Bad rapper.
I've heard of Bad Rapper, but I'm not too familiar
No.
with
He's,
them.
he's basically just he makes fat trap and bass house songs and raps over the top.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
What's his name?
Fat.
Bad Rapper.
Bad
rapper.
rapper.
I'm gonna check that too.
I'm gonna check this shit out.
Yeah, I've heard that he's playing some shows in
Yeah,
Perth.
let's
lately.
just pause the live stream for a second. Let's Google these guys.
Yeah, we gotta do this.
Man.
Not even that though. Like, can we pull up some of your tracks by any chance?
pull that shit
Let's
up, man.
start plugging your music, you guys, and
Yeah.
stuff.
If you want to hear some stuff, I can show you something I made like just last night.
Are you
Oh,
able to
yeah.
send it to that group chat we had on Facebook, and then Mitch can play it through this so people can actually hear it?
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Sick.
Because then
I
we'll
will-
try and play, I reckon, like 3 tracks each, maybe.
Okay.
And then,
Fuck
like,
yeah, I'll
um,
play. I'll
yeah.
play like an unreleased song.
You'll do it, yeah.
Blast
And
that
then,
shit.
song.
and then in the comments, we'll like plug your SoundCloud, and we'll plug the whole lot. If
Yeah,
you guys
dude.
want.
yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Bows down.
All right, I'll send some stuff.
Oh fuck.
So what do you say is your favorite genre of hip hop, Kiki?
My favorite genre, like really contemporary hip hop. That's
you
like, you know, just whatever. It's kind of like really new and fresh, and it's like their own vibe kind of thing. That's like
Do you like the new SoundCloud era, the new cloud rap sort of vibe?
I do. Well, here's my thing. I get really invested with specific artists' bodies of work.
Space Ghost Perp. You like Space Ghost Perp?
Space Ghost.
Do you know
Perp.
Space Ghost Perp?
I do know, but I haven't listened too much.
Oh,
to
he's
Space Ghost
amazing.
Perp.
He's literally he's literally cracked out of his brain. He's smoked so much crack. He's basically got schizophrenia at this point. Yeah. Apparently, he joins like random Twitter. People add him to Twitter groups.
Oh wait,
and he won't
Space
leave
Ghost
it.
Perp. Oh
Space
man,
Ghost-
Space Ghost Perp.
It was Lil
Fuck.
Pump. Yeah, back in the day.
No, yeah,
They're like-
with Raider Clan and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
Raider Clan,
Yeah,
and then-
Raider Clan.
and
That's
then
like like
that's-
fucking damn.
that's
man,
Denzel
that was-
Curry
Yeah,
era,
Denzel
man.
Curry. That
Mm.
with the whole X shit and
Yeah, and then
the beef. He
You know
said
about
it.
the
I'm like,
beef.
I know Space Ghost Perp, but I haven't listened
and
to
you
it.
know about the beef with him and ASAP Mob, where he
Yeah.
said he said something like, "I'm happy that ASAP."
No, it's
Yams
'cause
was
I
died.
remember what's it called? There was this whole
You have no
controversy of
idea what I'm
ASAP
talking about.
Rocky and Space
No,
Ghost
man.
Perp.
I respect
Yeah, I'm
it.
the
No, but I
same.
love the way you're looking at me. It's just you're like you're invested, and it
I'm
makes me.
trying. I'm
and
trying.
That's what I would say, man. And if I was running what's that thing called again? Six labs.
Oh.
If I was running 6 labs and you were that invested in beat making, I would pull you aside and I'll give you a
Six
one-on-one.
labs.
Oh, man.
Lab six.
Lab 6, that's it. Lab 6.
Yeah.
Can you
okay,
just
I'll
plug
see
the
that.
guy who owns it as well?
Yeah, May Hills. May Hills.
May Hills.
Oh.
May Hills. That's.
No, I thought it was the other dude.
You sent? Oh wait. I thought you sent it to me. I was like, you're supposed to send it to me.
I did.
Oh yeah,
Don't
no,
do it.
I get you, bro.
All right, Mitch,
Oh.
can we play some of these tracks and sit back and chill and
Hell yeah, it's chill.
give them a listen?
I'm working on it.
I respect the. Hey man, hey everyone, shout out to the hustle.
Have you
Hey,
sent
shout out
3
to the
already?
hustle.
Are you sending 3 through or
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find 6
send
shit.
your 3 through and then I'll
Who's
send
private?
Whose track are we watching first?
I don't
reckon we'll just
mind.
one to one. Start off with
Sweet.
Fitty.
Sweetness.
Whatever's clever.
Let me find my
I
song.
haven't actually sent it yet. Oh no, because I was waiting for him to send us 3 through. And
Ah, okay. Well, then start off with Kieran.
Mm.
Let's
Sure.
make sure everything's going right.
Just play all 3. and
All
then-
right.
do
then
whatever.
And then
Yep.
hey, shout out to Jeremy Palace. Is it Jeremy Palace?
Palace.
I think
Palace.
he says it's Palace. Yeah.
Palace.
Palace.
Jeremy Palace. And my boy
He's a
May
real
Hills, who
OG.
also helps him run Lab 6,
Nice.
who I've met at the.
Also, shout out Twirl, who teaches at Lab 6.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to. Who else? Who else we give a shout out to?
They got Shock 1 at Lab 6 now.
Oh yeah, they got Shock
What?
1, and he teaches
Shock
sound design.
1.
I'm pretty sure.
No shit.
Yeah,
Shock
he
1
teaches the
teaching
sound design
for Lab
course.
6.
Good old Carl Thomas. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. I can't. Oh man, imagine running into Shock.
But
1.
see, like that's where it's interesting as well, because like the nature of the industry. I don't know firsthand what's happened with Shock One, but like, you know, when he first made his album after Pendulum and stuff like that, it just took off and it just worked so well. And then he went touring around the world and stuff like that. Then he came back to Perth for a while. And when he came back to Perth, he started working on music and stuff like that. And then he released another album, I think it was at the halfway or beginning of this year.
Mm.
And I don't think it got as critically acclaimed as it should have, kind of thing. So it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, as a musician, it's so hard to.
It's
make
really
money.
hard. Because it's like the business back end. I remember someone was explaining the whole loan system back in the day of record companies, where you get this big advance and you have this hit, but it doesn't hit as well as like Beyonce's hit. So then you want a
Exactly.
bigger advance, but then
Yeah.
you're not earning enough yet for a bigger advance. So they give you the same advance, and then it doesn't hit as well as the first one did
That's
in
exactly
the first
it.
place. And then you're just on this continuous like debt cycle of trying to repay this
Yeah.
debt on an advance that you haven't been able to spend properly.
That's exactly it. There was this guy called Nick Thayer, and I think he's from Sydney or Melbourne. But like he toured the world. He was making Moomba Core and stuff like that, and Glitch Hop,
Oh.
and it was really really cool shit. And he ended up touring around the world. I think he ended up playing like EDC and stuff like that, and Electric Zoo and all sorts of stuff like that.
Nice.
But then it's just like that kind of style of music faded out. He faded out with it. He tried to stay current, couldn't make his whole name, Nick Thale, work. And then he came up with this thing called, I think it was called Design something or Distorted something. Like, it was really cool. And it was like a whole new different style of music he'd made. It's like electro, jumpy kind of stuff. Didn't catch on. So then what happened? I have no idea what happened to him. He made this new alias. He tried to promote it. He already had the back end. He got signed to a label, but then he just disappeared. And it's kind of like,
that's like scary.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you can go from touring the world and everything working out for you, but then unless you, like what we said in the beginning, unless you keep popping out tunes every month or something like that, and they're good tunes, you just fade into the darkness.
You have to keep putting in work to stay relevant.
That's it.
It's like, how the hell was Jay-Z? How the hell was Lil Wayne? 40. How is he now? 40? Like 1977.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, the Carter 5 still hit like a bomb.
The
Carter 5 was just like blew up.
And that was what, like 5 years in the making.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was completed for a while, and then they just couldn't release it because
there's a whole label
pay
problems.
this millions of dollars that Lil Wayne was owed.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
insane.
So that's the same thing. Like I was telling Andre this the other night. It's basically like I somehow managed to stumble upon Flow Rider's stories and stuff like that. And
his story, like his
like,
Instagram story.
yeah.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, you saw he's doing the wedding as well.
Yeah, he was like just doing generally like normal stuff, and I'm like,
it's like,
what does the world come to?
Yeah, he was like went from the top of the top to the pop charts,
and now he's like,
now he's doing shitty weddings and stuff, just trying to make a buck.
Or he'll just hit the club and just turn the club up, but it's like,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know, but like, it's like all they do is work out now and hit the clubs,
that's exactly.
and make some money, I guess, like in a business investment.
Fucking what's his name? Little John.
Little John.
He's so funny, Little John. He's got residency. I think it's he's got a residency in some casino over in Las Vegas.
In the money.
Yeah, basically. But it's just so funny because apparently it's like every 5 songs. Okay, yeah, like he has to do it. He has to do it in his contract probably or whatever, because unless he does it, it's like people don't realize it's Little John. And it's like,
then you hear that and you go, what the fuck, are they going to play a Little John song?
It's like, Little John's here? Holy shit, he's DJing? Oh, I didn't even know.
That's so funny.
Sad, man.
Yeah.
Sad.
But like,
is it really? He must be raking in dough. He's got
Exactly.
residency in Las Vegas.
yeah, but that's the biggest thing about it though, is that he's lucky enough to be able to get residency and doing something like that. But he's probably like in his 50s. Like, look up how old Little John is.
What's it called? Snoop Dogg was DJing for a while. Like recently now, he got into DJing.
Yeah, he's
sets.
called himself Snoop Lion or whatever.
No. That was him
radio
going Rasta, but
Yeah.
now he's trying to be like a DJ, and he's been doing a lot of DJ
He's 48
sets.
years old.
He looks good, man. Hey, shout to Little John, looking good, bro.
Hey,
No,
man.
that's just a good photo.
Come jump on the podcast sometime, homie.
Oh man, dude, I feel like we could do it.
Yeah, just message him. Wait, come over.
Dude, every Magic in Space goes perpy in here. He's like doing crack in the corner. Like, no, Space goes, we got to get you to on the mic. It's like, fuck you. It's like, I guess he just lives here now, man.
Rest in peace, Space
Yeah,
Ghost.
look how
Rest in
old
peace,
is Lil
Space
Wayne
Ghost.
as well.
Sanity. Apparently, you can just add him to. Apparently, he just gets added to random like Twitter. He just
Look
gets
at him though.
I mean, because he was 48, looks good, but he just gets suspended from Twitter constantly because he's literally just beefing with 12-year-olds. We just tell 12-year-olds, "We're gonna fucking stab your
No,
family."
wait, Lil Wayne's only 37 years old.
Wow. Okay.
I thought he was older than
He's
that.
not looking good, man. Dude,
No.
Drake looks good. Drake 33 looks good. Nicki Minaj looking good too.
Yeah, but Nicki Minaj has got that much plastic surgery.
What's
she's
it
not
called?
the person
Nicki
anymore.
Minaj is like on her retiree, isn't she?
Yeah,
She's
she's
retired.
retiring,
She's
yeah.
now gone on into.
I don't have any respect for that lady. The only reason why I say that is because when you get MC Hammer, right, and then you just rap over it about big booty bitches, and it's just like, what are you doing to culture? What are you doing to the original 90s hip hop? Like,
No, but isn't that like
I don't have-
sampling MC Hammer and then making a trap beat?
no, of course, yeah. But that's what I mean, though. It's like, if you're going to do something like that, you should make something good, though.
I don't
Honestly.
know, man. I look at like how many other people could have fucked it up.
Yeah,
worse.
you're right.
Yeah.
Everyone else could have fucked it up worse than
But
what
she
Nicki
probably
Minaj
didn't even
did.
produce it herself, though. That's
No,
the
she
thing.
wouldn't have. She
No,
wouldn't
she would
have.
have paid
She's not a
someone.
producer.
Yeah. She's just
No.
a hip hop artist. That's what she is.
Oh yeah, you're like, I met
No.
Nicki Minaj. That bitch can't produce
Yeah,
for
nah,
shit.
man.
I asked her if she could make an EDM track. She looked at me like, "What the fuck's EDM?"
And she couldn't even
Basically.
EQ a snare.
Like, have you guys ever seen the video
I
of
bet you don't
Paris?
even know what a threshold is in a compressor.
Did you guys ever see the video of Paris Hilton at it was like in Miami or something like that, and Deadmau5 had to step in and help her fix up her set?
I've never
What?
seen that
No.
video. You guys should-
Paris Hilton
What?
DJs?
Yeah, dude. No shit. Dude, Paris Hilton, right? Ibiza. Oh, you have
Oh,
fixed
thank
it?
you.
All right, see if you can pull up
Hey.
the Paris... Jamie? Pull up the video of Paris Hilton and Deadmau5. It's so funny. Paris Hilton, right, from what I found when I looked into it, she played in Ibiza, right, and she just got a foam cannon. She pressed play on a whole recorded mix, right, and just shot foam into the crowd. She got paid like 90k US.
Wow.
Just standing there shooting foam into the crowd and being Paris Hilton because it's Paris Hilton.
I heard she makes bank
No,
being a DJ though. She's
Look
a
up yeah.
I'm not surprised, honestly, dude.
I wonder if it. I saw it ages ago, and it's hilarious.
she owns hotels. Because that's how the Hilton hotels.
Yeah,
is
that's
her
her
father.
dad owns
That's her
it,
dad, yeah. And they just got built in.
Yeah, it
Perth.
might be that one,
Yeah, it might.
but it's so funny. He has to like lean up and do something, like try and fix it for her. That. No, that's not it. That's not it, though. It's so dumb.
Deadmau5 slams Paris Hilton.
Well, yeah, like
Really?
Deadmau5 slams anyone that's not worth being in the industry.
Yeah, I respect the Deadmau5. He just wants to
got
make what he
that.
makes, you know?
No, that's it. Like Deadmau5 is one of the people that I respect the most in the music industry because it's just
He puts in work.
He does. He puts the work in, and he's actually a producer, and he does what he does. But it's just
Oh man,
no. It's a
Nah,
slam.
Michael
man,
was it
it's
Michael
not.
Richards?
No, we don't want to watch
There's
TMZ.
Yeah.
gonna be some drama bullshit.
Screw TMZ.
Yeah, TMZ's awful. No one likes you, TMZ.
Oh my! What confuses me about TMZ is like, who's there doing that fucking shitty voice? It like pains my soul.
Yeah, it's been like a running joke for 10 years. Who the fuck is that voice?
But it's like so like
so
like
obnoxious.
yeah, obnoxious and it's like what's the word?
Fat.
Like demeaning or something almost. You know what I mean? Like
looking down on you. Oh,
yeah, like condescending. Yeah,
Condescending,
it's
yes,
like
it's
almost condescending. I hate it.
He's like, hey, you watching TMZ? Fuck, he's like literally like got the tone in his voice like, I fucking hate you for watching TMZ.
I reckon we jump into some of these GH.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
start-
Yeah,
That's
man.
exactly
yeah.
what I was gonna say.
Well, let's keep talking about TMZ.
Up all the songs that we just got sent
Yeah.
from the D's tool.
Why are you talking to me?
So this is coming through.
Is this going through the live stream? That's weird.
Can you turn the mic on for 1 second?
Why you talking to me, ho? Why you talking to me? Why you talking to me? Why you talking to me, ho? Why you talking to me? What you talking about? Hey, hey. Why you talking to me? Listen, I've been at the bottom and top. Listen, I was the hang with a kid, high school focus. With the focus, I got his life on the line. Now about the trip, I got my gun on my line. I've been hustling all my life, I'm chasing this paper like I'm King Kong, like a mad one. Whipping this shit like I'm King Kong. Fucking shit like I'm King Kong. When are you niggas gonna remember my name? My younger nigga fucking love, I got no shame. I'm fucking here up and I ain't gonna stop. She's living the way with some mashing about. She talk shit, bitch. I pop down, I live down, I'm gone. And then I don't even know one play, bitch. I ain't trying to waste no time. Why you talking to me? Why you talking to me, ho? What you talking about? Why you talking to me, ho? What you talking about? Why you talking to me, ho?
No, no, this is pretty cool. It's pretty good, man.
Thank you.
I'll talk a lot, I think a lot, but
Listen to me now.
everybody wanna get greedy, don't think about much that used to abuse. Power plus position used to reduce what you say for the pay. Hide the shame on the way, all for the fame, no plans in place. You can get play by the gang, think that is gang.
Dude, this is sick. Wow, this is cool.
Not really me, I sing and sing like Cheech and Chong and bang 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 like big babies, big less and
The vocal mixing, like you hear all the layers, how it sounds like, you know, like those movies where there's like an alien shouting. It's like
Is one like pitch shift down?
he's got a few different
I can hear
layers.
it.
He's got some that go up and some that go down,
That's the best way
some
to
that
do it.
go backward. No.
Probably reverse would be fucking cool.
Yeah. Well, we were messing around with reversing some vocals the other few weeks ago. Right? Yeah, there was been a couple of times. Huh? Oh, you can see my beat on the side there.
Yeah, you got the
Shinobi.
Shinobi beat, and then you got the
No,
remix.
it's like, is that just half beat then? Just then?
Yeah, that was just a halftime
Yeah,
thing.
that's sick.
I'm
Some
not gonna lie,
real
that's
some
impressive.
real, like,
But see,
thank
that's
you.
what I was trying to say before. It's like, it's so hard to push your material. Like,
Oh,
to
yeah,
get,
dude,
to
this
get
is like-
known kind of thing. Like, that's sick. But then,
You
like, to get 100,000 people to listen to that, it's gonna be so hard.
What was it called? Well, here's what I was thinking too, right? So like you got like XXX and those guys who were like from a few years ago, and they would just essentially like create like a
That's
cult
not the
thing.
track.
Ooh. Oh wait, that's just autoplay. Ooh, pause that. Yes.
Yeah, so what were you saying with like?
How you build a
So they
culture
kind of
and-
like built a lot of like strong, like, cause their sound was super weird and abstract and like inside the niche of like the Suicide Boys darker kind of trap sound. So they, and like their personalities really shine through a lot of that. So they built this really strong kind of community behind their
real
music.
cult fan base.
But it's like it's real hard if you're not someone like X with that kind of like outgoing like personality or like that
Yeah.
presentability. A lot of presentability and like, you know, handling business and being like kind of like leadership in a way, like being able to represent yourself like that sense as an artist, and then get them to like win them over to like you is really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need that
Like-
strength of a presence and charisma.
You got
That's
you gotta have
exactly
charisma, presence, like dance or something, like be entertaining and be
Yeah.
captivating that way for people to really like
And
you.
so
That's the
that-
biggest part.
That's where I found it in the DJ industry as well. It's like if you go and DJ, you're an entertainer. You get paid
Yeah.
to be an entertainer, and that's why, you know, it's unfortunate. You know, some people just pay girls just because they're girls, but then it's like, for some others, it's like you got to dance, you got to just sweat your dick off, you just got to have as much fun as you can and try and get everyone
man.
involved. And I can imagine like that last gig you guys did, because that was at the Rosemount, wasn't it?
No, that
Civic
was at,
Hotel?
yeah, it was called the Civic Hotel.
Oh,
yeah, that's
sick.
Civic, yeah.
In,
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
just up the road from Scotto. But
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's like when you're on stage and you got the microphone in your
Yeah.
hand, you got to get everyone involved. You got
I
to get
remember-
everyone into it.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the guys who's also opening that night, and he was saying like we were talking about how it's actually kind of like harder sometimes with
Yeah.
less people, because
Yeah.
you gotta make it special for those like smaller amount of people. Then if you had
Exactly.
more people, it's like almost more collective energy to bounce off of.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing. Is what if everyone's dancing, everyone's having a good time, then it's a bit easier.
Whereas you got a small amount, you gotta win these small people over one
Yeah.
by one
But then
eventually.
you probably find as well is the smaller amount of people are going to be more dedicated fans as well. 'Cause
Yeah,
if
man.
instead-
Yeah, the
Yeah.
people who are going to come back when you do another show.
Exactly, because they're like, I had such a great time. There was barely anyone there.
Yeah.
But the way he presented himself on stage, I just want to go and see him again.
Yeah.
Actually, that's how I'd say Malia Jose has kind of built this. Who's like a rapper in Perth. He's built up this kind of following like that by being that kind of artist that every time I'm at one of his shows, everybody knows he's performing then,
Yeah.
and everyone's there for him kind of thing
Well, see,
already.
that's like what's that band called again? The not Smith Street Band. The
Which one?
Southern River Band.
Southern River Band. Yeah.
And the Southern River Band, wherever they play, they've got a following.
They
'Cause
sell out.
and isn't it because the lead singer just has such a stage
He's
presence?
unbelievable, man. I was shocked. I never seen him. I never even heard of them until I saw them live at the Rosemount opening for Psychedelic Porn Crumpets, and just the amount of stage presence.
Hang on, what was that name?
Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of them before. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
Not
good.
bad.
Yeah, every time you tell someone that
Yeah,
name,
okay.
they go, oh,
Those
shit.
sound like some crumpets I want to get my hands on.
Yeah, man, alright.
That's it, right?
Dude lives at, the bassist lives in Morley. I remember eating at Varsity in Morley and Ben just tapping my shoulder going, oh, that's the bassist. I was like, what the fuck? This guy's getting played on Triple J. What's he doing here?
Yeah, let's play this next track
Like,
anyway.
Hey, yes,
Enjoy
thank
this next
Well, we
banger.
still- we
Just
just
got the
chat.
viewers just
Tune.
staring at the screen of SoundCloud.
Yeah.
This tune.
Please don't ever refer to tuners as
So,
again.
Sorry, so.
Because tuna smells, okay?
Yo,
Is the
Mike.
microphone's off? Good, like good pussy. Oh,
Ooh, whoops.
Oh, you let the team down.
Wow.
I know, I apologize for that.
The irony of my controversial music that I'm a part of.
Yeah, this song, man. It's just got that like catchy riff to it. The hook.
It's really laid, but it's really bouncing back.
Yeah.
You bounce back to it.
Oh yeah.
Did you produce this or?
Oh no, we didn't produce it. I found a beat.
I'm not part of this at all. This is GHK stuff. This is
Yeah.
him and Hillary. So Hillary's the dude that he's not on that photo.
on the other
He's in the
song.
other photo.
Well, he's the other guy,
photo,
and see the
yeah.
profile picture. Hillary's the
Yeah, yeah,
The guy kneeling down?
Yeah.
yeah.
So then you produce the beat for this then?
Oh, I didn't produce.
Oh.
Like a lot of beats we'll find on YouTube, and I'm only
Just
like,
like free
I'm like
beats.
learning how to make beats still,
Oh,
kind of
okay,
thing.
yeah.
But he mixes the vocals and all that himself.
Yeah, I
And
do
that-
all the mixing and
that side
mastering.
of it's like real hard as well.
Yeah.
But that's something we'll talk about after this though as well, because it's like you can go and produce a song, but then the mixing and the mastering is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
That's
man.
where we talk
Yeah.
about industry, man. That's
Yeah.
how the industry forms.
Exactly, yeah.
Someone needs to do it.
That's it. I mean, you can pay someone to do it, but
Mm.
it's better if you learn it yourself.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, it depends. I actually say, I've heard people say, good to learn how to mix and master, bad to mix and master your own music.
Yeah.
It's better to hand it to someone else because they'll be able to be more
Yeah,
like
open-minded.
open-minded,
Artist
more
perspective, yeah.
yeah, and they won't be as critical kind of thing. You might
Yeah.
be overly critical because it's your stuff.
Yeah, you want it perfect.
Where it's kind of where you might be over stressing on some small detail.
And you never want to master. If you mix something, you can't master it then.
Yeah, you
have
don't
to send it to
really
someone else.
because you're gonna be too subjective. You might put on like less than you need, where someone else might put more because you think you don't want to like
exactly.
overdo it, kind of thing.
Just quickly for
And then
people
it becomes
that
a battle between you as a mixer and you as a master.
just quickly though, just for the people that were listening to the song whilst we were just talking about mixing and mastering and how it's like you should always send your music off.
off.
Yeah, but just because then it
Good.
might have been a bit muddled with the song
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Oh,
Good thing
so-
we didn't say anything controversial.
yeah.
That's it.
Like good pussy smelling like tuna.
Oh, this guy, bloody
Oh,
wogs.
so this is like his preference. This is one of my
You
unreleased tracks. It's still a little
horny motherfucker.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Oh yeah, sure. Like
Oh no. Oh yeah.
He's on the last one. So
yeah, this is the last one. But anyway, this is one of those songs that kind of like one of my favorite songs I made. It's still pretty rough still as I haven't released it yet, but it's one of the songs I performed on the night when I was opening up with Toffee for Alaska's thing. But yeah, this is like gang life for me.
Were people bouncing to it when you played this live?
Yeah,
Did you get
oh.
a really nice?
Yeah, I like for me it was like when I'm up there I just kind of like get very blacked out and I'm just
yeah,
scared.
it's a
I'm
little
just
bit like
scared
that. It was
doing my
like
rap.
that for both of us, man. I wasn't actually noticing what
Yeah, I
the crowd was
couldn't-
doing a lot of
I'd
the
like
time.
look at my friends and I'd be engaging what's happening based on what
we
they're
were trying
doing.
to support each other, man, through just
Yeah.
being on stage in front of like 30-something people.
Yeah, it
Um,
does. It gets to that. You kind of get into a zone and you just have to fight.
Yeah, it's just like
basically.
I just want to make sure I put on the best performance I can.
Yeah.
And then you focus on
And
that.
then
Yeah.
like you find out that in post you're like, oh, I wasn't high pitched as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, that
But
happens
yeah.
so much with me. It's like where I'll go and play a set and then be overthinking and just like, oh,
Yeah, you'd be like, shit, this sounds all
Yeah,
off. This
bro.
is all wrong. And then
Yeah.
you get down
So,
and you're like, oh,
But
that's
see,
fine,
that's why I
man.
record all my sets, because when I
Right.
record my sets the day after,
I should have recorded that night, but I didn't know. I didn't have the resources to do so. I didn't
Yeah, but it's a really good thing because when you record and you re-listen to it, like, oh, I actually didn't do too bad of a job.
Yeah,
kind of
bro, I was like so shocked when people came up to me afterwards saying like I was doing well, because I was on the stage up there thinking like, man, I'm doing so mediocre right now.
Well, that's it.
I think every artist, when I play drums with my band, it's always like that. You walk off stage and people just come up to you and shake your hand. That was a really great show. And you go,
Oops, shout out to Sub Error, good mate of mine, Josh Crofton. Go check
Shout
out his
out,
music.
shout
oh
out.
yeah, Josh,
boys.
shout out to Josh Crofton.
We're going for another half an hour, and then we'll be
Yos.
calling it.
Do you ever go overtime?
We the
try not
first
to.
couple of ones we did. I mean, we
Try
did
not
like a
to.
6-hour one once.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, we just
Test.
sat in
That
here
was
and
a
just
test.
talk shit for
Oh
hours.
wow!
Is that really drunk for that?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
the
that's a
drunk
great
one.
one.
Yeah.
I was like, then you got taken down.
Is that one on the
Then you got
channel?
taken down because
Is
of
that one on
copyright.
the channel?
No.
Huh? No, it got taken down.
It got
Yeah, 'cause-
taken down.
Yeah, because he put this motherfucker put Wonderwall on the speakers and then decided to sing Wonderwall into the microphone. So it picked up his voice and then matched it to the song. Bam, copyright. Facebook's like, yep, see you later.
Wow.
It's a very controversial.
Right, so you have to actually
It's
watch
just
out
way
playing
too-
I'm
music
happy
on
it got
these.
taken down. Though.
Yeah,
It
I was
very bad
messing you.
podcast.
I was messing you. Like we gotta
Yeah.
take that down.
Yeah.
All right, shall we get into this
Yeah,
one? then?
let's get the last one going.
Yeah, so this is sick shit.
Before we get into Taffety stuff.
Well, is this some sick shit?
Yes,
No, this
sick
is some-
shit.
The name checks out, bro. I can tell you that
I
much.
respect it.
Yeah, it comes in hard like a trap beat should, too.
I'm on some sick shit. Automatic, no stick shit. In my room, still I be cooking. Smoke it, pass it. I'm on some king shit. With the crew, call them gang. We be fucking chillin'. Sickest in the business. This is dope that I be fucking smoking with the boys who roll through beta with the Siggies, yeah, the Winnies or the Ports or the Roffies, whatever we be affording. Dashing off to smoke some Billies, the gram needs attention. This my lifestyle, you don't understand it. Big talk, want a big rock, no pips on the crack rocks, but some diamonds for my mom. Gold chain for my pops, plus some extra for the boys. Had to boss up, had to give up a lot. Still ain't got no license, still they think I'm popping. Need to get some money, then we go about spend it. I can't even drive, but I still shuck and jive. Got the power in my mind, that's what the goal really lies, and it's fine. Then you're gonna see the goals, and they come in time. And they come in time. And they come in time. I'm on some sick shit. Automatic, no stick shit. In my room, still I be cooking, smoking, passing. I'm
I
on
fuck with
sick
it.
shit.
I fuck with this.
Gang, gang,
Fuck
we
yeah,
be
man.
fucking
Yeah,
chillin'. The trials and tribulations, plus the miles and dedication. Blood and tear on the pages, can't get to sleep.
I'm like so
unless
happy as well to witness
intoxicated. The
people
left
liking your
always
music.
It's
Because
like
it's like
weird
I've
for
been
me,
fucking
bro.
with you since the first time you ever showed it to me.
Well, you fucking rapping each bar, man. You're rapping along.
You
know the words back to front.
Yeah, man. I think it's your vocal mixing. You've just got like
You got a good style.
the clarity comes through. Yeah,
Really nice.
your voice has like a crispiness to it. Yeah, satisfying to hear.
Still, mom and dad raised a genius. There's a check I should be receiving. Awards plus some opportunities. Maybe some changes made by me or a mansion made by the sea. A romance and a family to continue my
Such a
legacy
good
for
beat.
greatness.
You get this off YouTube?
Yeah, this one was a fucking shout out to Baby. Bring the wave.
Oh, is it the baby? Yeah.
The Baby type beat.
Automatic, no stick shift. In my room, still I be cooking, smoking, pass it. I'm on some king shit with the crew, call 'em gang gang. We be fucking chillin'.
know.
I'm on some sick shit. Automatic, no stick
Yawning on the
shift. In my room, still I be cooking, smoking, pass it. I'm on some king shit with the crew, call 'em gang gang. We be
right,
fucking
right.
chillin'. Yeah, yeah. We be fucking chillin'.
Are we fucking chilling, bro?
Yeah, man.
Fucking chilling.
Yeah,
That's it.
thank you so much.
Dude,
Like,
it's
I
fucking
really,
nice.
I
That's
appreciate
really
the
cool.
opportunity to
That
to
was
show
I
you
really
guys.
did. I really did. What's the
Hey,
word?
Mitch, I think you should give him a follow as well. Oh, you closed it.
Oh,
Oh, this
no.
guy.
You know the irony is it opens up and it looks the same. So you got
Yeah.
the same height.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I took the photo of the fire barrel, bro. Remember I was taking photos.
Oh,
of
was
the-
that? That's that.
Yeah, man, that's that night.
Oh,
I was
shit, you
taking
guys
photos
show up to
of
that.
Of the fire you had. What?
You were you there for that? Oh, if I was invited to that,
Yeah,
I couldn't come. I
Yeah.
couldn't come.
I was there for the party, man, and I took photos. He had a fire in the barrel, and I took photos through a kaleidoscope.
Make sure you're close to the mic.
Looks
And I
sick.
ended up using one of the. That's the photo you see there.
Looks sick. Looks nice.
And it actually looks kind of like the shape of an A as well, so it works out because I'm a working dubs.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Man. Hey, man. You know, it's like it's all connected, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
But this right here, it's called synthwave. That's actually like a whole genre. I
Oh.
don't know if you guys. Are
Yeah,
familiar.
Yeah, you make synthwave.
You mean?
Well, no, this is
you
the
mean
first
Doctor
time I've-
Disrespect
This,
music?
this is the first
Nah,
time I've ever
I love
actually seemed to.
synthwave.
It's like I don't know if you guys
Yeah?
actually
Synthwave?
heard about this really
Yeah.
niche genre.
Yeah.
It's called electro.
Like 80s electro synthwave, right?
Yeah, well, I started
That's
this
it.
project like a few months ago and then just never touched it. It was just kind of like just a little idea with just drums and like a basic bass line. But then I opened it up last night when I was chilling with the bro Jack. And then like just started randomly working on it. And
I
then
was
every now and
present.
then he'd be like, "Oh, Toph, you should try doing this." And then I'd put it on and be like, "Yo, I actually like that. I'm keeping it." And then yeah, I finished it off this morning. Like made some final touches. And this is what you got.
Do you fuck with Perturbator? Do you like Perturbator?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Perturbator's alright.
Perturbator. You know,
Perturbator. No, I don't mind him.
Oh, yeah, Perturbator. I like him. I wanted to see him when he came to Perth. but Yeah. I could sell some coke to this shit in the 80s.
I could go for a night drive to this.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I once
Dude, I
rode a
could- dude.
T-Rex for 6 hours to this music.
Yeah, man. Dude, I could kill a guy with a hammer like Ryan Gosling in the movie Drive.
We just go cruising in GTA Vice City to this.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I was just going for like that.
Oh shit. Yo, get it, Toe. Oh. Wow. I hope I don't miss a synthwave segment.
Oh,
There you go.
who is that?
Shonif. Shonif. Something like that.
Yeah, then Jack was like, just make a segment where it's just like the toms. And we made it.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, that's sick.
man.
Have you guys heard of a streamer called Dr. Disrespect?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Disrespect.
You know him?
Yeah.
This is what inspired this track was Dr. Disrespect's channel because he has all this type of music
Yeah,
on there.
he loves this shit. He's like 6'8". He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big guy, man.
He's fucking jacked.
He could actually pick you up and just rip you in half.
Yeah, he could, man. Seen him in like conferences, he's just like towering over everybody.
Yeah.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, but it sounds amazing.
That's not bad.
That
That's
was sick,
actually
bro.
pretty
Fuck,
cool.
sick.
I
That's sick,
appreciate
bro.
that. It's cool.
I was
Like,
present
the
for the
melody to
making
it
of
and
that.
everything. It just sounds good. Like,
Yeah, man, that was some nice stuff, man.
And this is another one that Jack had his
Hey.
hand in. You can see it's Jungle Boy, Awoken, and Just. That's the three of us. We usually end up cooking up.
Shout out Jungle Boy.
Yeah, so Jack. Yeah, shout
And
out Jungle
Just.
Boy.
Shout out
Jungle
to
Boy and
Jungle Boy.
Just.
Justin.
shout out to Jungle Boy.
Yeah, so Jungle Boy is our mate Jack, and Just is our mate Justin.
That's about right.
And yeah, whenever we're over at Justin's house, he's usually got a beat open on the computer screen, and he'll walk away and leave it open sometimes.
yeah,
and
you were
then
telling me this. Yeah,
we'll just
you'll
come in and
jump
just
on,
mess
yeah.
up whatever he's got open. And then yeah, this is the product of that one time. Like Jack was cooking up with
Just
the sample.
quickly, that's actually such a good way to make music. Though.
That's a
It's
great
like
way.
one person makes something and he just buttons off and goes plays games.
Yeah,
whatever
you
guys
completely
would say.
bypass creators like writer's block.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's how when I was producing with my mate Boofy, went by The Alchemist, that's how we would do it. So he would do the production side of things, and I would give him I'd just say, oh, you should do that, do this, and then I would jump in on the mixing side of things, and he would give me input on the mixing side of things. And it was just that collaborative effort.
There you go.
And then my mate sat in for one of our sessions, and it was literally clockwork. It was just I would get up, and he would come in from the side. So it
Musical
literally
chairs,
is a circle.
Musical cheers.
It's musical chairs. He's just going, oh wow, you guys are literally going up, and it's just not even. And then towards the end, it wasn't even. We didn't even say anything. We just get up, and we just had this thought pattern of, oh, now it's my turn.
Shout out to Beth,
Shout out to Beth, by the way.
our number one fan.
Yo, what up, Beth?
Yo, thank you very much for
Shout out to all
doing
these tunes.
Yeah, not tuners.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
As I said, tuna is a smelly fish. Like,
Yeah, like
God
good
damn it.
pussy. Sorry.
All right, yeah, let's go.
Yes.
Yeah. So this song actually started with what you hear now. That's just like a sample that Jack had, and then he was programming some bass and a beat, and then he left it unattended, and I jumped on and like rearranged the bass and the beat a little bit, structured it all out,
Nice.
and then I added some chords.
You saved it first, right?
Oh yeah, of course. But then yeah.
And then and the other guy, what did the other guy do? Did he just jump in with his own flavor?
He came in and added this like it's like a sax almost kind of instrument that comes in later on. You'll hear it when it comes in.
Sick.
You'll be able to tell straight away. But yeah,
And you'll
a lot
like
of-
it straight away as well.
I've been gearing more of my beats towards like being rappable because I've been hanging out with so many rappers. You know, Kiki,
Yeah.
Kiki Jack.
Yo, shout out to
Justin,
Kiki, by the way.
all these. Yeah, a lot of these guys I'm hanging out with are rapping, so I'm like, well, I may as well make some shit they can rap to.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get a bit more into that lately.
Nice.
And it's kind of cool.
It's cool, man. That's good.
It's actually refreshing, man, because it's very hard to make dubstep. It's very hard.
Well, that's what we were saying before. It's like, you know, skills in a way. It's like making
Yeah.
rhythm. It's
Yeah.
not just as simple as making.
Or I
noise
should
and throwing
say
bass.
really, it's easy to make dubstep. It's hard to make good dubstep.
Yeah.
But that's like with anything though. It's
Yeah,
like it'd probably be
100%.
easy to make a simple drum and write the drums for
Yeah.
it. But to make it into something,
Something,
that's
yeah.
That's where
skill.
that's where the hard part comes
Yeah.
in.
Do you find that making these rapper beats, is it sort of is it a challenge almost? Is it like a new challenge? Is
Yeah,
it something?
It is a new challenge because you think differently when you have to make a rap beat as opposed to a dubstep beat. Or like, you know.
And do you like that experimentation? It forces you
Yeah,
to think
dude,
outside
I'm
the box?
loving it, man, because it's just like a taste of something different, and you get to try all sorts of new ideas out, and you know, do stuff that you wouldn't normally hear in rap, or you know, try out some techniques that I'd use to make dubstep or whatever.
And then when you go back to dubstep, you can then add some of the flavors.
More stuff that you've learned. Yeah.
Oh, is that the sax?
Making hip hop
Yo,
beats.
is this that sax?
Yeah, this thing he brought in. Yeah.
No, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's actually really sick. Yeah, but yeah, and then when you start experimenting with the dubs, like
Yeah.
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 What about you? What about you, Kiki? How far are you along with the production side of things?
I can make and arrange a beat, but
Dude,
I need
this
a
man has
groove.
accelerated quicker than anybody I've witnessed before. He never went from not having touched production at all to now he just makes. In one night, I watched him make the dopest beat. I was like, what the fuck? Out of nowhere, he just cooks up some nice shit.
Sick.
Yeah, I'm like Asian, so tutorials
you-
just insert into my mind, and I'm like, I just remember
It's
it.
like a more feelsy track. So
Like
actually,
wok.
I want to
Yeah, I cook up in the wok.
instead of the one that I sent you to play, can you go to the group and play a different one? I sent you another one instead of that one. Yeah, this.
Ooh, Iron
this-
Grave.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
figured this one instead of Paradiso, just because it gives you 3 completely different
Yeah,
flavors
this is a
of,
different vibe.
of what I make. Because Paradiso is more similar to the other one. But this is like the first track that I ever completed once I'd learned how to use Ableton. And to this day, it's still it's probably still my best track, only because it's like a finished product. It's got all of the pieces, got the intro, the build-ups, the drops, and all the stuff in between.
It's a completed product,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
So-
I finished this one 5 years ago or something not even, no. It's 3 or 4 years ago. But then, as you can see, I sort of went
1
back
year.
and redid it, mixed it a bit better.
It's bang.
My mouse gone.
Mm.
There you go.
I like it. He just jumps into it.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
that. What is Death Step? What's Death Step?
Death Step is just like a subgenre of dubstep. I guess that's what they call dubstep. That's just super heavy and dark and intense.
And much gloomier. You're admiring your own beat. I like this.
Oh, that sound. That's sick.
Yeah, that's some grimy shit, man.
Yeah. It just kind of gets more and more intense as well progressively. Right here, it's about to drop again.
Oh, just that little part there, that's awesome.
Little breakdown.
Yeah.
Give you a bit of a rest from all the heavy shit. I've thrown in some trap sort of hi-hats there.
Yeah.
You
I
can
can hear,
that,
I can hear
going
the.
down.
It sounds like sprinklers. The
Yeah,
sprinkler
they're
hi-hat.
probably a little bit loud at the moment, but
No, I think they're alright. They're blended in pretty alright.
it's stuff that you learn along the way. Every time you finish a song, you get to listen back and think I can do this better. Did
That's
really
when you
well.
learn, man.
That's with everything, though.
Yeah.
It's always
Especially podcast. So,
Yes.
sorry, Jamie.
just like that.
Yep.
Alright, I'll be back.
No problemo.
Fuck. Save it. Save it for us.
Yeah, it's on camera. Check out this magic trick.
Something like that, yeah.
So how do you get? Is that a sine wave and you just constantly filtering it up and down, you're constantly pitch shifting that sound. That's the main melody. Is.
A lot of what you're hearing is going to be pitch shifting.
Yeah.
There's also some stuff that's going on with the waveform itself, how it's being affected.
You're square waving it as well. You doing any square waves?
No, nothing like that, man. It's just
there's always a sine wave.
Yeah, I built this from an initial preset in Serum though, so I know it's like, I'm pretty sure it's mostly sine. It's like a sine and a triangle wave, and then all of the noise is just coming from the effects that I put on it, and then I've automated the effects to change over time as well.
Have you side chained it at all to the?
There's side chaining on the.
You can hear a little bit of side chaining.
It's
sounding sick.
Yeah. But this is an old song, so it's like my techniques have really improved since I made this.
Oh, shit, man.
There's a lot of stuff that I do now that I wouldn't have thought of back then, you know.
But damn, this is what you're making, like, right off the bat, I think. Do you have anything recent that you could show us? I mean, that stuff is pretty good, but you're still just trying to finish up the product?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's another, okay, I've got a better example of, like, some more recent.
And is that pretty finished, like, or at least towards the end of being finished?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Is that your biggest thing, Kiki? Is that you got all these beats made, but then none of this truly fleshed out and finished?
In terms of beats, I think you could make beats forever and have no rappers want to rap on it. Like, theoretically, you got to make it, like, it's just improving your skill, getting that swing, getting that vibe going.
Yeah.
Getting that bounce.
Almost the same thing with the whole you can't mix your own music. Like, making your own beats takes a little bit of time till you're, like, all locked in and you're like, this is it.
It comes in right at the finale.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Yeah, he just had to step out. Oh yeah, we know you just didn't like the music.
I just had to get the thumb drive off a friend.
So that's an example of was it closer example?
No, but I like that. It was nice.
Thanks, man.
For like what I heard of that was pretty cool dubstep.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's probably something I would never play live, but it's just cool to have like the reference point, the memory.
Don't eat them in the microphone.
I'm not gonna eat them in the microphone.
Let's hear the ASMR crunch.
Yeah, we're not going into that shit. Like when we first started trying to do this podcast, our mates kept sending us like fucking Bella Delphine ASMR stuff, and it's like, no, we're not clicking on that crap. Like,
that was so good.
But yeah, no, that was 15 minutes left.
Well, I sent one more track. If you want to hear something more,
let's keep going.
If you want to hear something more up to date and sort of closer,
dude, these tunes are fucking sick.
Yeah,
do you have any more tunes, Kiki? At all?
Oh yeah, I could send.
Because dude, your tracks are fucking fire.
Most recent one.
Oh, they're fucking sick.
Cheers, thank you so much. That's like,
yeah. So I'm showing him this one.
Which one? Fear.
Yo, No Fear. Yeah. So this is like, there's like a little description here, but that's pretty much the introduction to the track.
Man, I have no fear that this is gonna be a good track.
Yeah. I can hear some other music playing in there.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Ah, there you go. Bit of like a soulful intro. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this one.
There's a little bit of rhythm in there. You got some rhythm elements.
Yep, there is some rhythm. There's a part where it just kind of switches.
It
goes from being dubstep to just...
crackers.
Sorry, I haven't had dinner. I only had lunch, and that's it.
So you're gonna eat prawn crackers?
I've had some Milo cereal and a sausage roll.
I've had four
Mate, that's the Iron Man diet.
That is Iron Man's diet.
I'm gonna run a marathon now.
Ah, here we go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you showed me this one. This is like Savant.
Oh. I wonder if my sister, either of them are probably watching right now going, oh yeah, this one.
Yo, shout out to the sisters.
Yo, shout out to the sister I don't have.
Mario kind of like keep levels kind of thing. Like,
I was just having to go at doing something with reggae, man, because I've always had like reggae influences. Like reggae is like a huge inspiration for me, and so I thought it was like about time to try and do something with those vibes. You know? Yeah. And then it ended up, I don't know how it went from being reggae to just like heavy hitting dubstep, but that's what happens.
I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised you've never heard of Savant.
Yeah, I think he showed me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like so savant.
No. Yeah, I would think so.
He's left in the dust.
Fun Case. I took a lot of inspiration from Fun Case on this one. Big up Fun Case.
Shout out to Fun Case.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is where it's switched now. It's going rhythm.
See, I wouldn't even say this is rhythm now. I'd say this is still dub. No, these are just blobs.
It's the
whip.
It's that
It's still got the whip.
it's that pattern.
Yeah. Isn't that just the dub pattern though? The kick, snare.
Yeah, but rhythm is distinguished by that
The emphasis of
particular-
it.
Yeah, by having the bass kick and the snare together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. See, the bass and the snare hits at the same time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked that out, to be honest. I would have
Yeah,
thought it was
neither.
just the snare.
Yeah, no, it's having the kick and the snare together that creates that like rhythm. Yeah,
Creates that
That
I didn't even mean that.
creates the
I
I
rhythm.
didn't even mean to say that.
I honestly thought rhythm was the fact that someone made rhythm and then they said rhythm.
Yeah.
That's why I thought rhythm came about. That's why I thought the name
I
came
thought it was
about.
just
thought it
like
was
an
like the
English
whip.
dude being like, "Oi, bruh, rhythm."
Yeah, like rhythm. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, rhythm.
Yeah, because like jungle is massive.
Hey, so this is
Oh, we didn't have this one yet. Oh, sick.
yeah,
All
man.
right.
Alright,
So
so
this is
back
my
on my
latest track that I've been
Yeah.
Look at
working
my
on.
shit
You
experiment.
back on your
What?
bullshit, man?
Back on my shit.
Yeah, back on my shit. It's still pretty rough. Haven't gotten the final versions down yet, but this is a pretty good idea of what it'll sound like.
Yeah, this one's good. This one's good.
Got your seal of approval.
You're pure.
Well, the me. Oh.
Little stupid ass bitch.
Young Metro don't trust you. I'm a
Hey.
In West Philadelphia, born.
Fuck, it works.
I believe it's time to fall into where I need to be. Lately, so much time has been spent on the little things. Crazy how we walk so fast to get where we wanna be. I just
Did you make this beat?
No, I chopped it up though. It wasn't this structured like this before.
Got me turning, missing something eternal. Cause I've been hustling and bustling around in the circle. Must have been the
Lamps are so
weed I was
sick.
smoking. Can see the beat where
You're the first guy to ever compliment us for having that. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'll be the second. I'm pretty sick.
I love looking at him, right?
That's why I got him. So I can stare at them.
So they can be stared at during the podcast. We can all just have an awkward silence and stare at the lava lamps.
Just have lava lamp moment. Just have the camera right next to you. Just watch the lava lamps go around.
Yeah, those are really lovely lava lamps.
Look, there we go. Josh Vickery.
Yep, podcast is sounding good. I love listening about Damien's diet.
Epstein did not kill himself.
I'm glad to hear it, man.
Yeah. Hey man, I was like worried for a second. I'm glad my boy's doing well, you know?
Almost shoot, almost done. Almost with the clip.
Dude, if Epstein was alive, he'd fuck with this, you know what I mean?
He would. He wasn't in a jail cell.
Where's
It was-
Basket when we need?
Hey man, he only has the highest taste. You seen that drip? Him wearing that white puffy jacket?
Oh shit.
That shit do be Gucci. And then halftime.
Yo! Yeah, it's gotta
Bad
get the
guy.
ad-libs in.
It would just be like shh, and then it ends.
Duh. Right at the end.
If we still
was-
have
yeah,
time,
man.
man, we
We
can
still
play
got-
the other
Mate.
one that I was gonna put
Yeah,
on.
let's keep
quickly.
going.
So this
Fuck
one's
yeah.
real fun, man, because it's like
Look at that
it's a
drip.
completely different vibe.
Dude, look at that drip. Fuck with that dude.
That is some hard drip,
That's some hard. Look at this hard drip, man.
bro. That's like fucking
No.
walking around. You woke up.
This ain't no fucking around drip. Epstein
that is
drip.
some ain't no fucking around drip. That's some proper drip.
This is about to make some billions drip.
This is
On
like
very shady
I'm getting a
things that no one-
divorce, but it's not affecting my life.
Yeah, man. Are we ready?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna rename this track and call it Level 1.
Sick.
I'm a
Because
fan
that
of
sounds like a
Paradiso.
video game level, man.
Yeah, Paradiso isn't basic like that.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah. Yeah, the little
Yeah.
bloops and bleeps.
Yeah. If you actually, bro, if you click on my profile picture right now, on there, yeah, and then see, read the description, man.
I make weird bleeps and bloops.
You said bloops and bleeps,
Yeah,
that's
there-
what I'm all about, man.
There we go.
There you go.
Scrunch up your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, yo,
Make
this
you scrunch up your face. Yeah, man. That's the idea. Because I used to try and go on some hella like personal deep, just like explain my whole life story. But I realized like a lot of people don't have time for that.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of people are just too busy to read a whole bunch of shit like that. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just make it. Hey, I make weird bleeps and bloops.
Yeah, man.
We
Exactly.
like it.
Exactly, man.
That's a nice sound.
Hey, man. Shout out to my boy Josh tuning in.
Hey,
The number one fan.
what up, Josh?
Yeah, Josh.
Who else we got in the chat as well? We got
Shout out Ewan.
the sub-era still watching.
Baby. Yeah, he'd also fuck with something very illegal. That's very true, Josh. Very good job pointing that out, bro. But he'd definitely fuck with this, is all I'm saying. Ooh.
Yeah, bring it down for a little breakdown, build some suspense. Yeah.
This is the underwater part of the level.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Exactly. And then I bring in a new instrument here. It does a kind of a solo thing.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
That's in. This would be a sick intro for the Infra-Red podcast.
Yeah.
You guys could use it, man. If you
Oh shit!
I would let you use
But
it.
we're not a Sonic level, bro.
Yeah. That's very true.
Well, man, this track's not doing much.
Take it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, especially not musically. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking lit. No.
Man, you play too much.
Playing with our emotions out in these streets, man.
Play with my feelings like that.
No, that's pretty
Oh,
sick.
that's cool.
That
And for
was
like
sick,
the song
bro.
to be called Level 1, that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
It suits it.
Yeah, because it didn't really have a name. I just called it parody. Like I was just trying to put something on it when I uploaded it.
4 minutes left, which is like a good amount of time for them to plug this.
Yeah.
Hey,
Is there
alright.
any more gigs coming up or anything like that? Or
Not
We
right
haven't
now,
got anything
but
planned right now. No, but
Working.
stay tuned, man. Watch those Facebook walls.
yeah,
Make
no.
something up.
Make
We'll
something.
start it.
Oh, okay.
I'll be
I'm
on
not
Little
planning
St.
this-
James.
All right.
I'm
Yo, the
I am
podcast
Usain
after
Bolt.
party at Alex's house, 10 o'clock.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
No, what's it called? I got a mixtape I'm working on right now called Kid Raps, and that's hopefully gonna be coming out early next year. Or
Say kid raps.
yeah, Kid Raps.
Kid.
Is it for kids?
Nah, just I am the kid.
This is like Kids
Nah,
Bob.
I am the kid.
It's like
You're
Kids
the
Bob.
kid. He is the kid.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming out eventually. As I flesh it out a bit more. If you want to find me, I'm on SoundCloud at GHK Hip Hop, or you can search us up with the GHK, but include the dots because it's the only way you'll find us. And on Instagram as well it's GHK Hip Hop. Oh, and YouTube.
YouTube.
And YouTube too. I'm terrible at plugging. I haven't plugged anything ever.
That's cool. I don't have much to plug anyway. I just have like my SoundCloud, and that's where I release all the stuff. That's kind of.
All the links will be in the description.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
You make sure.
After the videos.
Oh.
Yeah, and I reckon we link all the songs as well.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Get a
Yeah, those tracks that we played tonight are actually mostly private, but I'm happy
can
for you guys
play
to link on the page.
half
'cause
of what I've shown
if
you.
people want-
But how would that work though? So like we can just share the link.
Yeah, you
and-
can
yeah,
share the
anyone
link
who's got
and
the link
then
can access the track.
Only
But without
viewers of
the link,
Infra-Red
you won't see the
podcast.
track on my
Okay.
SoundCloud. So people might go on there and be like, "Oh, what? Where are those ones I heard?"
Okay, yeah, no, that's alright.
No.
Yeah, as long as I can
But
see
yeah,
it.
search me up on SoundCloud, Awoken Dubs. I'm the only thing that comes up when you type in Awoken Dubs on SoundCloud too. So
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
winning.
Man, you're the only one working in dubs. You own this town.
Yeah, I'm making the dubs and I'm getting the dubs
And some hugs.
and some hugs.
So I'll have a big group hug after this.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Not on camera though. They
I'm not
don't
gonna say no
deserve.
to
They
a
don't
free
deserve.
hug.
These people don't deserve to be a
Yeah,
part of
otherwise, we'd be on Rule 34 instantly.
that. Exactly. Yo, that's how you know you made it.
That's how you know you made it. You got
Made it.
Rule 34
Alright.
of you?
What do
Fuck.
reckon? We got about a minute. Should we finish it off with a quick freestyle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right.
What? You got it was
Yeah, I'm
beatboxing.
gonna do a little thing, and he'll do a little thing.
Oh
Okay.
fuck yeah! This
Ready?
will be sick.
It's weird because this is my mic too. Yo. Okay, sitting and I'm chilling like a villain on the same repetitions that I'm thinking. Going through the motions as I'm trying to find a decision. What the fuck should I be rhyming? But as I sit back and have a fucking spliff now, gotta roll it back, you know how we roll now. Got my crew in the building and we feeling now. Tough on the side and he dropping beats and heats, but we gotta keep it discreet. Rolling through the streets with a couple friends that we meeting at the park. Do a little swap, do a little this and that. Fuck, I be fucking up, but I gotta keep it flash, gotta keep it not whack, gotta keep it on facts, gotta keep it on track. Robin running it up on my laps, gotta keep it fast.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Swayze in the morning right now.
Hit us up, Sway.
No, thank you guys for coming on. We got 10 seconds before we hit 2
Hey.
hours. But
Boys.
thank you so much, Kiki.
Thank you
Kieran,
very much
and
for
thank
having
you so
me.
much, Tafiti.
Yo.
Dude.
Hey,
Having us on.
Oh, dude.
get the dap.
Yeah.
I'll just dap you
I
guys
still mess up the
afterwards.
fist bump every time. I'm still not used to it.
No,
bro.
dude, the
Being
same.
from
Oh, yo,
New
shout
Zealand,
out to Kent and Nakano.
We don't do that shit in New Zealand, bro. We just like shake and that's it.
I was
Oh,
gonna
really?
say, like in New Zealand as well, there's like,
Yeah,
how you
it's
do-
like that. It's like, oh, jam, bro.
Sure, bro.
You want to get some fish and chips?
This
Hey, yo,
guy.
hey, yo, who's the guy who did Lord of the Rings?
Share a token?
No,
was gonna say
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. Have you seen the early Peter Jackson?
No.
Dude, that shit's New Zealand culture, bro. It's like the
What?
violent. Like he made this alien movie. It's like made on a budget of $100,000. It's good shit. He's got some like thick New Zealand accents in there.
Nice.
Jesus.
Man,
So-
never mind.
we got a couple of people who need a bit of a clean up in the comment section.
Beats are too hard, boys.
Man, that's nasty.
Right, so thanks, Kiki.
Yo,
Kieran.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Fitty.
Thank
Thanks,
you guys.
Damo,
It's
for
been a
having
pleasure.
come back on and being a
nice.
co-host.
Thank you,
And
Damo.
thank you,
Pleasure.
Mitch,
Thank you, Mitch.
for doing your thing. All right, this is episode 7 of the Infra-Red podcast, and we are signing off. We'll see you guys
Yo.
next week.
Peace out.
Hey.
Yo,
Is that a
yo.
blood
Chilling.
sign?
Blood sign.